Welcome back to another live edition of the Jedi Academy. Why live? Because if we tried to record this, it wouldn't work because this is a Q&A show. That's right, this is a Q&A show where we bring the best and the brightest of YouTubers and game changers and throw in a little bit of RSG madness, that would be me, into the mix. And the way it works is if you have a question about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, all you need to do is be in our chat where we are live streaming in Twitch and YouTube. So if you have a question for our awesome panel of guests or for us, all you need to do is put your question in the chat. Make sure you put question in front of your statement, and then we will scoop it up. And I must emphasize that if you don't do it that way, we will not get you to your question, and that's on you, not us. So help us help you to help us help you. That's just kind of the way it works. It's a helping hand all together. But today I'm also joined by a bunch of people. Let's introduce them, and we'll get talking about this week in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. While the questions start coming in fast and furious like they always do, we've got with us, of course, for the first time in forever, because he's not shopping or sleeping with porgs or eating Twinkies, Dr. Finn has come back to help with the show. I just want to give a big round of applause for Dr. Finn. He's here, folks. Dr. Finn, how are you this morning?
I am no one.
And you are everyone.
Well.
Well, see? The science.
Well.
Well, you know, I mean, I'm just throwing that out there. Joining us, who just popped in and just decided to go well, is, of course, from his own YouTube channel and Game Changer, all kinds of stuff, Mr. Ramon Azab.
You guys are already live? It's 9:59.
What are you talking about? It's 10:02, Mr. Lady Pants.
My computer clock is wrong, and I feel silly at this point.
Yeah, you're live in front of a studio audience saying all this.
That's fine. I thank you for the introduction, and I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, we're glad to have you always. And also joining us, she popped in, formerly a Jedi Master, but now a Lady of the Sith. Jedi Master Dastra.
Hey, always Jedi Master. Thank you very much. And good morning.
You fell to the
always
dark
Jedi Master,
side.
not always a Dastra. Is that
how it works? I guess. I mean, she's just Jedi Master. Jedi Master who? Just Jedi Master. Don't even play.
That's all that matters.
That's right. That's science. Also joining us, we're glad to have him back. You know, from YouTube, his YouTube channel, and not just his normal YouTube channel, but his Scissorman Warrior channel. The one, the only, the great one. Warrior Presents is here. Yay! Hey Finn, you know what we should say for Warrior? Baby shark a dook a dook a dook a dook.
God, we're gonna get Felix's
I just wanted to see, because Felix is here with us as well, and I want to see if his daughter was going to tell her to shut up again. It was fantastic.
I am more than happy to bring her back into the office and tell you how she really feels.
Should we do it, Finn?
Let's save it as a treat for the end.
Okay, we'll save it for a treat at the end. So we got an awesome panel. Wait, somebody else joined. Wait a minute. I think we're getting a signal from we are, Finn, from the frozen tundra up north in the land that God forgot. The land of candy canes and maple syrup. Joining us all the way from Canada, the one and only T Money G is here.
Good morning. How's it going?
Thanks for being on time.
Mm-hmm.
You and Remon are both in big trouble.
A wizard is always arrives exactly when.
He arrives precisely when he means to, Frodo. How are you this morning, Miss T Money?
Good. I'm doggy sitting.
I don't know what.
I'm doggy sitting.
Oh,
a tiny
doggy
little dog,
sitting.
so-
I was okay. I misheard you. I was like, what?
Yeah. So I'm basically back to having an infant where I'm watching if someone pees and poos all over my house.
That's not.
Sorry, this is kind of like pre-stream talk. So
Well, yeah, you're watching a puppy. It sounds like, and that's okay. You know, lots of people, they do that. All right, so get your questions in. Dr. Finn is going to scoop them up and get them read. So Glad to have everybody over here on YouTube. Glad to have everybody over on Twitch. If you haven't followed us on either, or if you haven't followed us on Twitch, please do. Come join us on Twitch. Give you another channel to watch us on. Try to get to 200 followers, up to 184. So please do that. Make sure you like and subscribe on the channel, and make sure you check out all these other wonderful content creators that are on here right now, and check out their channels. Besides King Felix, just go follow him on Facebook and look at all the cute pictures of his family. It's amazing. But we're not getting that information out because King Felix would be mad.
Say, what are you doing here, Ranger?
And he would punch me in the face. I was going to go with a joke and you just blew it up, King Felix. Look, we talked about this. I'd say something. We'll go talk about it offline. All right, let's get into the nitty gritty because not a lot happened this week in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Nothing important or anything. Oh, wait. Yeah, it was a bad... Oh, boy. Not a good week. Galaxy of Heroes. I'm just going to throw it out there. Who wants to talk about what? Wow, we're getting all these questions in. Let's see. We've got the Malik change. The whole Jedi Knight Anakin, I own the game pawnage. I guess they saw what was happening in Battlefront 2 where he was dominating and wanted to bring that version over to Galaxy Heroes. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. Who would like to give their thoughts about what's been going on this week in the game? Nobody. All right, you're all a bunch of
Jedi Knight Anakin thing because I've got a bone to pick. I mean,
pick that bone, T-Money.
Wake up, CG. How could you release this, the most elusive character we've ever had, and then a week later rework 2-3 characters and not test them against him? I mean, what? I don't know. Like, sorry guys, but it does not take a rocket scientist to put Anakin on a team with Jedi Knight Revan. Like, that is not like a complex thing. Like, oh, the Jawas and Poggle beat it. Like, it's not some weird little obscure combination. This is a very, very obvious combination. And Eric put out that post. Eric, if you're listening, I'm sorry, bud, but yes, there are like hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of combinations you can do with these characters, but that's the first one that I personally would have tested, and I think I gear 12'd him just for that team, and I paid money for that for an old character because I wanted to help my guild in Territory Wars. So I'm not too happy about that. I feel like it's quite incompetent of them, to be honest.
Warrior, I saw you put I did a bunch of testing because when I first heard this, I was like, okay, hold on, folks. I've heard this kind of before. Night Sisters beat Jedi Knight Revan anyway. I'm like, okay, let's see this. So I went on Miss's show on Thursday when this all started happening, and then we started testing it and doing some more tests. And we're like, what is happening? We were just wrecking everything. And then I saw on your Warrior, you put him on your own Darth Revan team and was like, wee.
So, what happened was I was on a climb, 2 days ago, and there's a guy, his name's Toronto Lump, he's on my Shard chat, and he's not in the Shard chat, sorry, he refuses to participate, but he's really fun, and he just enjoys battle, so he climbs randomly and hits people randomly, which is fine. I'm like totally cool with that. I actually have fun, but he's got god mods and all that kind of stuff, and normally I can beat him, and I win against his team. I wasn't paying attention. I just saw Darth Revan, blah blah blah, and I've just recently reworked my mods in a way that even though I don't have the fastest Darth Revan, I'm not even close. I do have the fastest Basilisk on Fallen, which is really the key. So I've been actually only like dropping once, like into top 5 max, and I've been enjoying this meta for myself personally because of that. And I just went in to fight him. He was in first place, and I thought that was odd because it was late at night, and normally he battles throughout the day but goes to bed by now. And I went in and I got smoked, and it was because his Anakin was in there, and I was like, oh damn, there's an Anakin in there, and he was wrecking me, and I was like, wow. So I thought, oh, that's interesting. So I just made a really quick video the next morning where I just threw mine in. I didn't even touch his mods. I just threw them in and played and whatever, and just showed he's a really great plug and play character. But the more videos I've seen, it's like you can literally throw him in any video or any team composition. We got people with Night Sisters that have used him actually for a long time because, you know, it triggers his extra turn. We used to be just turn meter, so it wasn't quite as effective, but now it's extra turn. So it's 100% effective for sure. And they use like the Night Sisters with him and stuff. And now that's like insane good. And then of course, you know, you can plug him into any team. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But I kind of opened up a can of worms apparently yesterday with my video. The point of the video was it was breaking news, and so I wanted to put it out there so everybody was aware of it, because it's important people know that changes are coming, so they don't put any more gear into something if it's going to change. And I didn't know what I was sharing was a private chat. Apparently,
Warrior.
Public screenshot. I know the public screenshot was shared on Twitter. It was shared in our Game Changer chat room. Like, I thought it was public knowledge. I saw it on Twitter. I saw it on Cubs fan Hans. I thought Cubs fan Han was sharing it in our Game Changer account, and it was like a picture of, you know, Jedi Knight Anakin with Revan just smoking everybody, and in the, you know, the whole top 5 is Jedi Knight Revan again, and you know, it was Carrie saying, you know, I don't expect that to last, yada yada yada. We're going to rework it. We've had a problem with balance lately. We're going to be looking at him plus the Sith, and she used S as in plural, which is wrong, but that's semantics. She was actually referring to what they just announced yesterday, which was kind of like what they're doing with the Sith and how they're going to kind of refund gear and things like that. But I figured everyone needed to know, and since I'm not under NDA, see, this is the deal. You tell me something, I'm under NDA. If you don't tell me something, I'm not under NDA. If I find it publicly, that's on you. So not on me. I'm not held accountable to information. If you're going to not communicate, and then I don't have to worry about an NDA. I had no idea it was private knowledge and it was a private conversation. Now I'm in about 85 channels between, you know, all the different places that I'm at, Discord and stuff, and Slack and blah, blah, blah. And apparently I'm actually in that chat room that it got leaked from. But obviously my screenshot's a screenshot of a screenshot from Twitter. So, you know, I'm getting a bit roasted because of that. Because they're like, how did you know you weren't even in the chat room with Carrie? I'm like, well, because I'm in another chat room where I thought I was with Carrie. So it's been kind of an awkward situation. I've really wanted to talk to them. In fact, I kind of called the company out, and I'm like, you know, we need to talk, man. Like, let's do this. Let's just communicate with each other, because the program's been completely dead for months, and everyone in the Game Changer program can attest to that. And they either just need to squash it so these poor Game Changers who are like new and stuff, there's a bunch of them, like 30 of them, you know, can just be told, like, move on and, you know, do what you do. Because a lot of them are hanging on by a thread, kind of waiting, like, oh, is it going to happen? You know, it's like, just do your thing, you know, don't wait for them. Or the program needs to change, one of the two. I mean, either you need to start investing and communicating, or just let it die. I mean, one of the two. But it's dead and on life support, but they're refusing to pull the plug. I don't get it. So it's just kind of weird. But I wasn't intending on trying to, you know, share secret stuff. I thought it was public knowledge.
We know you were, Warrior. Don't even try to play. We know that you were.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it was funny because
TMZ Warrior is here.
Hey, you're sharing fake news. That's not Carrie, blah, blah, blah. It was funny because, you know, I've got Carrie private messaging me going, why do that?
Why are you doing this, Warrior?
You're making this worse. Why did you do that? You're fanning the flames. I'm like, well, I had no idea, you know, that it was private. I just saw it on, you know, Twitter and some other stuff. In fact, I thought it was her Twitter feed, but then I saw it wasn't her Twitter handle and realized it must be from like Reddit or something. And then later found out it was from Slack.
But I mean, you talk about it today, or you talk about it tomorrow. If it's something that's going to happen, you know, I don't know. I think we have a responsibility to the community to be like, what's up? You know, and if it's on, you know, I'm not going to share anything that's confidential, but you know, something like that is complete speculation.
Like because they would make an official announcement. So I think you are fully aware you're adding to the clickbait type of thing, get ratings, this and that, because something like that there's the official announcement. So you had to have known in the back of your mind that that wasn't normal, you know?
Well, is she really?
I want you to expound on that, because I wholheartedly disagree with you, Jedi Master Adastra.
She's a Sith now. Don't.
I have a wife and 4 kids, and I rarely make YouTube videos. My views are at an all-time low because I haven't participated in YouTube, and I see something which is well known to everybody. It's being shared on multiple Discord chats, and so I make a video quickly because I'm never the first to the information because I freaking work too much, and I finally get an opportunity to make a video. And the whole clickbait thing, that's just malarkey. It's absolute crap. When we make a video because we're YouTubers. Do we do it because we just want to make a YouTube video? Of course not. There has to be something in it for us. We either want to make some money, or we want to build our credibility, or we want to try and help the community with a new, technique or whatever. It's never because we're just these selfish bastards. But what I hate is when people demonize capitalism because we want to. So what if I make some money on it? That's not a problem. There's nothing ill about that, and there's nothing ill about me making a video. So I'm going to put that to squash because you kind of sound a bit like the jaded community with that, and I think that the community needs to chill on YouTubers. Like, YouTubers are simply doing a job just like anybody else in the world, and nobody goes around and demonizes everybody else's job. Like, hey, stop making burgers, you bastard. You know what I mean?
Stop making burgers.
You're clickbaiting my food, man.
Okay, all right.
Warrior's a clickbait kraken.
Yes, he is. You son of a.
Maybe you just had really poor timing or something.
So here's
hold on. We're all talking over each other. Hold on.
Warrior does not clickbait. Okay, let me tell you, Warrior is somebody that puts out information that he thinks is going to help people. He's never doing that for any other purpose. And if you knew the guy personally, you would know that he's never.
That's why I'm saying, like, this was so out of character for him.
So it actually wasn't.
Stuff, why would he have suddenly?
No, so it really wasn't out of character. So here's kind of the biggest thing, right? If you're not careful about looking at it, and I know this was the confusion Warrior had, and I was watching your stream, Warrior, and I don't know if you saw it. I was trying to tell you as you were putting your post when you were making your video. It's really easy to get Slack and Twitter confused. And let's not forget that for like the past 2-3 days before that, Carrie was responding to everything on Twitter. And it was nice because she was giving like communication. And I know not everyone was happy with her responses sometimes, but she was responding to everything on Twitter. I think over the past, 72 hours, she must have had like 20 something responses on Twitter where she was just going with the community about all of the Malik stuff. So there is no way for Warrior to have seen this on Twitter, not realized after looking. I know he looked at it later and saw it, but there was no way he would have realized that this was not Twitter without like carefully looking at it or just been super familiar with Slack and everything just to be able to like instantly tell the difference, right? He wouldn't have been able to tell the difference between Slack and Twitter and then not thought that this was something publicly set. And by that time that Warrior had already started a stream, Cubs had retweeted something on Twitter that already had this post, and then Cubs took it down because later found out that it wasn't supposed to be something that was out. It was on at least 8 Discords that I was on, 3 of which were Game Changer Discords. So it was already public information at that time. So I don't think Warrior was doing anything clickbait or anything. Whoever leaked that picture was in the wrong.
Absolutely. I think he just got swept up in the moment and just added to the fire, basically.
I mean, for Carrie to come at Warrior and say that he's adding fuel to the flame, I mean, she was literally telling people. I mean, you see some of the posts on Twitter about like how we expect you to spend this kind of money, and I mean, I don't know. Maybe I read some stuff out of context, but from what I read, it was like clearly some controversial stuff that she was typing. On Twitter or maybe it was Slack, but it looked like it was a Twitter feed that, people were asking like, oh, do you expect people to spend, thousands of dollars to keep up with the meta? And she was kind of like, yeah, we do. And I was like, oh man, I can't believe she actually said that, but
this is how it went though. I mean, it's pretty simple. This is how it went. I woke up at 7 a.m., worked all day till 9:30 at night, had some personal stuff I needed to take care of till 1, woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning, tried to have some coffee before I worked another 9 o'clock to 9 o'clock shift, saw a bunch of crap on social media and stuff like that that said that this was changing and stuff, and went, oh my God, I could do a video this morning because I actually have like 30 minutes. And I went, well, realistically, that's not enough time to make a video on this information. And I'm just going to miss the boat once again on making a freaking video. And then I went, you know what? I'll just live stream it. I'll spend 10 minutes just sharing this information. And that way I can actually participate on YouTube because I have a YouTube channel. And hey, my people who watch me would love for me to actually make content since that's something that I said I would do. So I jump on live stream. And if you watch, you can hear me say, I think it's from Twitter, blah, blah, blah. You know, you can still see the crust in my eyes that morning. And then I threw that video up with, it took me literally 12 minutes to make. And then I rushed off to work, and I was there until 9:30 last night. And then I, you know, throughout the day, I'm getting this conversation from them. There was no ill intent or maliciousness. But I'll tell you what, even if I freaking knew what was going on, I still had a right to put that stuff out. Even though I didn't know, it was public information, and everybody should be telling the community changes and things like this that are going, just like T-Money said, there's a dutiful obligation to allow that information that's public to be made known to everyone. And again, I had no idea that was a leak. I saw it publicly in a bunch of places. It was going to get out, so I figured I would go ahead and slap a video. But, you know, people are going to make it what they want. I really don't care. I'm at the point where I'm just like, apple's an apple, deal with it. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I've got skin thicker than an elephant, so it's all good. It's just disappointing that the community and that the company, not the community, the company responded the way that they did, because I feel like actually looking back in hindsight, I did a favor, because there's a lot of people that were starting to heavily invest, and they need to pause and take a break and think about it and go, you know, what's going on here? And it's just, it's wrong to, you know, bring a character out, rework them, and 2 days later nerf them. You know, that's totally wrong. So, but you know,
I have to say, Warrior.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just want to say, and it does come back to the Game Changer program. I've been kind of mulling this over for the last couple of days after seeing some of your comments in the Discord server. And you know, it's like, if we're not going to get any information to go by, we're going to go by leaks. You know, just like every other YouTube out there who doesn't have contact with a company that they're dealing with. You know, and that's, you know, that's, in my opinion, that's one of the purposes when I joined the Game Changer program, is one of the purposes is that, you know, you can get reliable information, you can test characters so that when you release them, you know, when you release the information about them, it's not just based on company videos, it's not just based on this or that, it's based on your own experience. And I think that the company, you know, on the flip side of that, I think that the company has been burned a bunch of times by Game Changers kind of coming out and doing like the clickbait, over the top, you know, this kills this is useless, you know, only like a few days later to kind of retract that and make the opposite statement so they get just as many views on the other ends of things, you know. And so I think, you know, I don't know, I think it's a consequence of non-communication in the Game Changer program. But the flip side of that is that there's other consequences for CG when they do give us the information, right? Because then they're vulnerable.
And then one last thing,
like, awesome, we've got this information, let's make all these videos that get, you know, 20, 30, 80,000 views on them, which is a lot of money for people. You know, it's a lot of money for a YouTuber to get that many views. And if you're, you know, if you're putting out content on a regular basis, that's, you know, burning the company unnecessarily, you know, I'll speak out against CG, no problem. But if you're like burning the company and then flip-flopping to the other side, it's just, it doesn't make any sense for them to give us information. So I don't know, that was kind of a statement of like not knowing what they should do, because both sides are just not working.
One last, go ahead.
I was just gonna say on the Jedi Anakin thing, I think it's being blown out of proportion, to be honest with you. In my opinion, I agree that, you know, he is suddenly a lot better, but I think that you know, I kind of think that the characters like Jedi Anakin should be good in this game, and I don't fit. I mean, listen, I'm facing teams with Jedi Anakin in them on both the Revan side, the Darth Revan side, and the Jedi Knight Revan side. And I'm still smoking them on offense. So I don't really see a huge deal with this. I think that it's one of those things where people just expect something shiny and new to be completely dominant. And I mean, again, I agree that that people should be panicking about it, because that's what the community does. Okay, they panic when something happens that kind of changes the way the meta works like this. But I think that for some reason, I feel like every time something like this happens and there's a backlash from the community, it feels like they feel like obligated to like address it and make this like now there's going to be a problem. Like they're probably going to rework, like you said, they're probably going to do something to Anakin or something now to fix this. And I feel like it's just kind of a knee-jerk reaction where, yeah, like T-Money said, they should have tested it and made sure that it was, right, and that it was, that it was going to be in line with the expectations that they had for the character. But I think that ultimately there's nothing wrong with having a meta where you can run multiple different teams that work and kind of make it fun. I think right now the meta is more interesting than it's been in a long time. Because there are different teams you can run that work, and it makes it more fun in Arena to face, some different options. I mean, there's people running some different things out there right now, and I kind of like it. I don't want to see it get back to a situation where, it's just Darth Revan versus Darth Revan versus Darth Revan versus Darth Revan. I mean, that's disgusting. So, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it's an overreaction, and I think that's. I think that, mods are still going to come into play big time on whatever team you're facing. And I think that it definitely is like really weird timing to throw a super, awesome Jedi rework in like right after you try to put the Sith on the top of the map. But again, if their intent is to kind of give Anakin some more love, because he's such an important character in the game. I mean, like, Jedi Anakin should be a great character in this game. I mean, it's freaking Vader. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. I think it's an overreaction. That's just my opinion. I'm sorry, War. I didn't mean to interrupt your. Oh
no, I'm like ranting hardcore this morning. I just had one last statement, and then I'll like shut the hell up. But the biggest last thing was there's a bigger problem here than this whole thing. Like there's a bigger problem than Anakin and like all of that. What happened was I'm on like 8 Slack servers, and I don't get notifications on any of them unless because I turn notifications off for everything. Like I said, I got 2,200 notifications yesterday. Boggle that, you know what I'm saying? So I noticed a tag. I noticed a tag, 2,200 notifications, and that doesn't include YouTube comments, which there was over 280 comments, and I respond to each and every one of those. But I'm a slightly busy guy, but I noticed a tag, and I went into it, and I couldn't find it in Slack, and I kept searching, and finally I realized, there's like multiple servers, and that's right. So I clicked on the little squares and found one called, Capital Games, and I was like, oh, damn, I'm in a Capital Games Slack chat. I didn't even realize I was. So I clicked on it, and there was my tag, and I was tagged in it, and people were like, whales were like blaming me for this whole thing, like, Warrior's an idiot and stuff. And I'm like, damn, I didn't even realize I was in this chat. And they're like, you must have shared it because it's in this chat room. I'm like, what? So I went back like 480 comments and found the picture, the original comments. I'm like, oh, my God, this was a screenshot from this location. And I didn't even realize it. And they're like, oh, you're an idiot. You don't even know you're in this chat room. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm in 2,200 chat rooms. So you know what I mean? It's like it's kind of hard to maintain and balance that kind of communication. I don't think any human can do it. I do as best I can. But what pissed me off was while I was scrolling, I saw 8 developers having banter, conversation, sharing pervy information on the game, everything on this chat room, like they're best friends with these whales. Now I'm a whale. That's why I was in there. Apparently I didn't even realize I was, but I'm in this chat room with these whales and they're like totally talking nonstop to them. And then I'm like, I look over at our Discord chat, which is a game changer chat. And it's been crickets, nothing for 6 weeks, not a word. We tag them. We're like, hey, there's this problem, tag, and nothing. They don't even respond to us. It's like uber disrespect. And that's what pisses me off. And that's what really got me angry. And that's what I said to them. I said, I'm uber frustrated. We got to talk about this because like either the program's dead, just call an apple, shut it down and let's move on, or make it something like it is in there. And, a few people said, well, maybe that's because they trust them. The only leaks in history with Game Changers ever was 2 with Mobile Gamer, and both were accidental due to test account setup. And both of them were because he was in a test account, and one time he leaked Gear 12 because we were, at a live stream, and he didn't realize, he accidentally clicked something and it went too far, and he was in a test account. It was one of the first times we ever used a test account. And then the other time he was in a test account, and there was a little icon of IG 100 or 2000 or whatever the ship is, event coming up, and people realized, IG 2000 is coming. That was it. That's the only time in history. And if you don't trust a Game Changer, boot their ass. Like, excuse my language, but if you don't trust them, boot them. That's fine. If someone's constantly causing you problems, it's your program. It's your prerogative. Boot them. Who cares? Boot them. There's 30 Game Changers, and there's another 30 that want to be in. If you don't feel like you have an amicable relationship with someone, kick them. No big deal. It's your private entity. Do what you want to do with it. The community might see it differently, so you may want to be diplomatic and political about it, but the truth is you could do what you want. So I was just frustrated because I woke up to being called out for leaking stuff, which I didn't even know was a leak because it was public. And then in the process, I found out that they have a phenomenal relationship with Wales, and they're chatting hundreds of times a day, 8 developers deep, and I can't even get our handler, if you want to call him that, to respond to me 6 weeks later on critical pieces of information in the game, and we're finding out information from McMull, who's not even in the program. That's the rub. That's the rub.
You know what it is that's really crazy is you're 100% right, but the way that this is being handled, and you know it just as well as I do, is that this is kind of like you don't fire an employee, you just give him less and less hours until he quits. It's one of those things. That's kind of where we're at with this right now. And I think that part of the reason is it's kind of like there's so many people that have a huge audience that are in this program that if they were to directly say listen, the Game Changer program is being exploded or being disbanded or whatever. Ever since EA has kind of been out of the equation because of the relationship that's going on with them and the studio, I feel like they're afraid of some huge backlash from videos being made that are negative with them about the program. And that's kind of why I think that we're not being told anything either way, is because I think it's one of those things where if they were to definitively say, okay, guys, we're going to kind of stop pumping any resources into this right now. People like you or Arnold or Mobile or some of the bigger channels would make videos about it, and they're kind of trying to avoid that, is what I think it is. I think it's just trying to avoid bad press, and they figure that if they kind of let it just be stale, that you can't really say anything because you're still technically a game changer, but at the same time they're not really giving you information. But I also agree with you 100%. I mean, if they're out there literally actively talking with other players in the game and sharing information, and they're not doing that with us, I feel like that's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, there's no reason for them to be spending or allocating any of their resource towards anything other than working with the people that are there direct link to the community, in my opinion, and especially people that they've been working with now for, with me and Warrior specifically, we're talking about almost 3 years. We've been working with the studio and trying to give them feedback and help them out. We've done nothing, and we don't get paid by them. They don't give us any assets to our account. They don't. We're literally there as almost like free. Help to try to help them, promote the game, and also to help them fix any minor issues. And I have to say that pretty much everybody in that program has been pretty stand up about everything. So I don't think that there's any issues there. I think it's just one of those things where, like I said, they're just kind of slowly just giving us less and less, and we're not stupid, it's obvious. So the silence in there is deafening. And it's like one of those things where, now that I'm hearing, Warriors say that they're sitting there and they're just active in this other chat, it's kind of gross. It makes me want to throw up.
But that's what I was referring to before. Like there's, for me, if it was my business and you're like in a partnership with someone, like it's not like they can't just put the muzzle on us, right? Like we're going to do what we want. It's, it is, we have the freedom to do that, but they also have the freedom to stop giving us information. Like I'm thinking of the Jedi Knight Revan piece. When Jedi Knight Revan came out, so many game changers put out a video that said, this is the most expensive tune ever. This is, totally not gettable by free-to-play players. And we came out and said, actually, we know a lot of free-to-play players who are getting this, and we're gonna use this as an opportunity to teach you guys how to play the game like these free-to-play players. Well, during that time, we lost 400 subscribers to that. And I can guarantee you that everyone who was putting out videos saying like, raw, Jedi Knight Revan is like gonna, kill you is, they did not lose 400 subscribers, right? So it's, if we're going to take the information, either you're, the people on the Slack server, and I'm on the beta Slack server as well. And there's some conversation, might be another conversation on Slack. I'm not sure, but I am on the beta server and there's been some things addressed on there. And, it's, if you're going to tell the game changers something and you're going to make like sensationalized videos about it, because it just wasn't true. Jedi Knight Revan was not the most expensive character in the game to get. And, then why are you going to give information to those people, But you're also not going to cut off the program, because then everyone's going to make sensationalized videos about them cutting off the program. It's a lose-lose for everyone. And I wish that we as game changers had a better relationship with them so that we could speak out on stuff, speak our mind about stuff, but not make these clickbait videos. I think they hurt the game. I think they hurt the community. I think they burn people out. And I don't think people should be making them. And this isn't to say that you shouldn't have released that information, Warrior. We do release on our streams, we like take all of the gossip and we say, this is the gossip for the week. Ooh, but we do that as well. But it's mostly the pieces around like the spending money, this costs that, da-da-da-da-da. That's not how I want to run my YouTube channel. That's how other people want to run theirs. But it's hurting the whole program. It's hurting the program as a whole.
Well, I think the go ahead, Finn.
I was just going to say, so we have gathered all the questions, so we have all of those. I want to make 2 comments.
We're collecting questions, but everyone's eating this up. Is like, everyone's like, I think everybody. If we didn't get to any questions, if we don't even get to.
I blame Adastra for starting this whole thing.
Way to go! Yeah.
And then second,
the dark side is strong in her now.
And I do really want to hear from Adastra about all of this stuff, because
we'll get to her. Yeah, we'll go there.
Take you to figure out Jedi Knight Anakin, like all of 30 minutes, I guess. I'm sure it was in the arena.
Well, with what Ramon was saying, with how it's like you're just constantly like reducing their hours and stuff until they're gone. I think half the chat was talking about how they were picturing Warrior as Milton from Office Space.
My stapler. My stapler.
Hey, I got something real quick as the only person here without a YouTube channel or any connection to CG at all. I saw that screenshot on Facebook before Warrior's live stream even went out.
Yeah. That thing was public. It shouldn't have been, but it was public.
It was absolutely everywhere. I didn't even get to see his live stream. I just heard about it, or I watched it later. And then I was like, oh, he's lots of messages here apparently. And I was like, I saw this on Facebook when I got up in the morning to take my dogs out. Like, what's going on?
All right,
but other than that, it's been a great
yeah, it's been great
session.
Yeah, I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm enjoying these reworks.
Oh, I bet you are, Miss Jedi Lover. And I gotta push back on you.
I used them, the first thing, and then of course they were already maxed out, so I just threw the Zeta on them.
We knew that, yeah.
I gotta have the Zetas.
Of course.
And I've tried all these different combinations in Arena, because I'm like, how cool would it be if I could get one of these other leads to work again, like I used to run the Qui-Gon lead once upon a time, and then Grandmaster Yoda lead, but oh my god, it's just that Darth Revan team is just pretty brutal. And so, of course, the natural selection of the best leader, Jedi Knight Revan. And so I've been having a lot of fun trying out different combos under his lead. And like you don't have to have Grandmaster Yoda there. Like I did Ahsoka and Anakin together. And oh my god, it's so much fun. And I did not realize the hailstorm that would surround Anakin actually finally being a respectable meta character. You know, this is a rework that I have been longing for, and I know a lot of other people have been wanting a rework for him. So it is just extremely disappointing that there's talks of nerfing him right after a rework. It's just like, seriously? And, you know, the comments about, like, that he's too powerful, you know, against Darth Revan. Well, the way they made the Darth Revan team,
that's
like,
the biggest issue I have.
That's why. That team, you know, like, even though that negative defense, for example, so they're way more susceptible to the damage and, you know, the defense penetration that Anakin has. So, I mean, you have to really mod him well to get those huge hits, though. Like mine, I have him decked out with offense max crit damage, so I can get those big hits. But even then, it's not always consistent, you know. Like my win rate with different teams, it's not 100%, you know. And it gets destroyed on defense. Like I had my Shardmate record battles against my team, and he still beat my team with his Gear 9 Darth Malik. It's like, I don't know. I'm hoping they, you know, I'm kind of worried what they might do. They've just been so CG. I mean, they've been so reactive on these different things lately. You know, that EP change. The Malik change against EP, purely reactive. It is just, I don't know. So
it's because
we're in weird times, I guess.
Okay, so the problem with the Darth Revan team and Malik specifically is that it was a strange design. Let's put it there, where it's you sacrifice defense for more offense. That's just one thing. Then the whole EP thing came because they do all their debuff stuff, and then he was just incredible against it. So then they make that change. The thing with Anakin, he's fine the way he is, but against that Revan team, he just owns it on offense. Now defense, of course, you can target Anakin and knock him out, and then you're really going to raffle stomp that team. But the hits...
Yeah, that's exactly the point. Like, the Darth Revenant team is still the superior one. You know, you put that on defense so you don't fall as much.
But people are falling.
I left my Jedi team, you know, just before these reworks did.
Oh, yeah, but...
I left it in just to see, and I fell to the 70s like nothing.
Well, yeah, because it is the team on offense, but here's the problem is, because the character of Malik and Revan were so exclusive, right?
Well, Malik more so. Like
Malik more so, but Darth Revan still was, right?
The answer is not to nerf everything that comes to count. You know, like they're just gonna nerf every character from this point on, so it can't have a chance to counter Malik.
Almost twice as many people got Darth Revan as got Jedi Knight Revan too.
Right. So, but the way Malik was specifically, the way he came out, the way he was supposed to, I mean, the power, the event being as hard as it was, 2 days, everything, right? Very exclusive. So if he is getting beat by all these different teams, and you got all these people that spent this money on this character or got it exclusive, what's the point of it being exclusive? See, this is the balancing act that CG has to do, and it's the corner they put themselves in more than anything. If you're going to make a character that's that exclusive, he better be that damn good.
And he is, though. It destroys everything. So it's like, but they are wanting, again, when I say they, I guess CG, I mean, that they are wanting this just to be only a Malik arena. I mean, that's just ridiculous. They did these reworks
The answer is probably yes.
Jedi
Yes.
again, because the Jedi Knight Revan teams could defeat Darth Revan before the reworks. It wasn't always easy. People didn't know what they were doing, or they didn't have the attack patterns down, or this and that. But Jedi Revan was able to defeat Darth Revan, but it's still a superior team. You win a battle in a minute or less. I mean, you can't get much crazier than that. Like, they're just that.
But you're making the point also as to why they're doing this, right? Jedi Knight Revan, while he was an expensive-ish character, I mean, he was designed in a new way, released that was different and did require more resources to get the first time around. He was dominant on offense and defense. Now, when you compare him to the price tag put on Malak, if Malak isn't able to help the Revan team stay on offense and defense, then he is considered worse than Jedi Knight Revan in terms of his impact. And so what is the point of that price tag? And so when you're asking, like, are they going to keep on nerfing everything that beats him? The answer is probably yes. For the next probably 3 months until the second time that the event comes around, they are probably going to keep on nerfing any solid counter that beats Malak, because you have to justify the price tag on him, which is sad, but that's what they've essentially come out and said in the Twitter posts and what they did with the EP change. I mean, EP actually brought a rock, paper, scissors to the meta. We actually had, like, what was it? I think when we did it, Ranger, it was like 40% Darth Revan, and then it was like 30 or something percent Jedi Knight Revan and 25% EP. Like, we had a close to a rock, paper, scissors for the first time since Traya. And they basically intentionally destroyed it because they're trying to force Malak to be the meta, and seems like to the same level that Jedi Knight Revan was. And they're trying to do it without the massive amount of power creep that Jedi Knight Revan had. And so they just keep on nerfing everything that counters it.
Which is dumb.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's smart. I'm just saying that's what they're doing.
Yeah, we're just giving the facts.
Silly is that, And I just said in chat, like, really, it's one of those things that just kind of makes my jaw drop and makes me think that there's something a little bit more,
that's a fun way of saying it.
Manipulative going on here. And, what keeps us in the community, right? What keeps us in the community is each other, engaging with each other, being social with each other. That is that is the kind of foundational element of games like this, where it's, where you're in guilds, where it's very social. They could have literally talked to Jedi Master Adastra for about 10 minutes, hey, which comps should we try out and how should we mod them? And she would have probably given them, a little essay about, what to do. And the problem would have been found. But they didn't do that. It just seems a little weird to me. I'm proud to have my tinfoil hat on at all times. And because I've been in communications for many years, and I know this is how communications works. So, maybe it's just a way to kind of keep us engaged and, like, furious about stuff, but never actually quitting the game,
I think that's part of it.
Like, this stuff recently, it's been going on for a while, I guess, when you really think about it. But, like, this latest, it just shows the incompetence, miscommunication that is just so paramount around this game, unfortunately. And, like, yeah, these reworks, like, okay, the trio, it's a very highly requested, that GK get a Zeta and that Anakin gets reworked because he's supposed to be one of the most powerful characters. And so when they finally do it, and they have the intention that this is going to be a great use in, the meta to help bring these Jedi to be of use in Arena. Like, they had to have that, wasn't that their intention? And then, oh, look, they're being used in the meta, and they can win. Oh, they weren't supposed to win, apparently. Like, it makes no sense. It's like, how dare we have a versatile arena? How dare people try different comps? It's just really annoying.
In their defense,
and then again, if they actually end up nerfing him, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be very
I don't think nerfing Anakin is
disappointed.
the problem. So I don't think Anakin is going to change. We'll see what happens. I don't think Anakin's going to be the one.
Well, the other team might change. That
That's
they do
probably going to happen.
to manipulate that relationship. In their defense, when we had access to the fully like modded, decked out test accounts. The game changers now have access to just real accounts. Basically, they're real accounts, but they're on different servers, so we can't take first place in a server that's just started their arena like a few months ago, right? So we're in our own arenas, we're in a guild together, but we had to start these test accounts from scratch, except for the day one game changers like Warrior and Ramon, who had built up their accounts to begin with, because these are the accounts that they originally had. And on these accounts, you have to farm mods. So you farm like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of mods trying to get your 20 speeds. You realize how much effort it has taken to build up your inventory. But on the test accounts that were where they just gave us all the stuff, it was really easy to make mistakes because it was a false environment. You were putting like super decked out 6Es with all this speed on both sides, and you didn't really get like a real look at what was happening. And good old Maurice and I actually, right before they took them away from us, we kind of vowed, we're like, we can't use these anymore. It's too much stress because we feel we're going to make a mistake and tell the community something that's untrue. And that's just kind of the foundation of our channel. We don't do that. And so we decided that we're going to stop making videos on the account, except for like new releases of tunes and such. So it could be that it's just too hard to not be in like real life testing these characters. I don't know. I'm trying to think of some reason other than they just want to make us fussy.
I'll make you fussy, young lady.
I don't know. You always make me fussy.
Let's get fussy with questions.
Hey, nice transition, Finn.
All right. So first, Ranger, if you want to do this one, it's a question from Danilo Papayas. He says, "Can I get a shout out for my birthday, which is today, and he's turning 44."
Hey, did he want a voice or anything, or
he didn't say anything? So,
Randy Newman.
It's not your birthday. Just get
I think he would appreciate that. Sing him happy birthday as Randy Newman.
Oh my God, here we go. Alright everybody, today is Daniel Papa's birthday, and I give a special shout out to him because Dr. Finn's making me and King Felix is a turd. So I wrote a song because I can write songs all the time. So here we go. Do, do, do. Happy birthday to Danilo Papayas, he's turning 44. Cause Finn is dumb and King Felix is stupid, and I can't come up with anything else more.
What the fuck is going on?
There you go. There's a lot of songs I wrote. There you go. Happy birthday, Neil Spice.
All right.
You're welcome, everybody.
All right. So who gets the first question, Ranger?
We'll go to Scissorman Warrior. He's been very. He's calmed down. He's had some coffee. He's at work. Let's give him a question.
All right. So question for Warrior from Mole Maxwell, and he says, "Could I get fleet teams for each of the different capital ships, assuming I have all ships unlocked, leveled, and starred?"
Fleet teams?
Yeah, so a team for each of the fleet, like if you're splitting them up, trying to set up 4 different teams.
So they've done a really great job of being basically factional based. If you're going to go with Mace, you need to go with the Galactic Republic, and all of the Galactic Republic. Obviously, you'd want to put a Houndstooth in there, though, because the Bounty Hunters and Galactic Republic work phenomenal together. And then if you're going with Thrawn, who is a kind of a one-size-fits-all, you can use any ship combination and any faction synergy with the Executrix. You're going to want to use Empire, preferably, because you're going to get all the extra turn meter and whatnot and extra offense. And there's plenty. You can mix and blend Empire with Sith, kind of like you do Bounty Hunters with the Galactic Republic. And if you're going Akbar, you should go pure Rebels for the most part. I mean, I know people will put Houndstooth in the front, but you can very, very easily throw Biggs in there. With the amount of protection regeneration he gets, it's insane. So, you would go pretty easy Rebels only on that. It's much easier in ships to find that synergy because faction synergy is a thing, and I think that's the idea and goal in game on the character side, and that's why they're starting to come out with like specific tags like Sith Empire, and then only when Sith Empire is present, blah blah blah. I think they're going to continue to go that way with the reworks and the touch-ups, as they're going to continue to make it. And I heard someone say on my YouTube comments that what they should do to fix Anakin is simply just change his kit to say he gets that extra turn only when Galactic Republic go under, and that was an excellent idea because that's that faction synergy that would keep him overpowered in only very specific circumstances and not in just any plug-and-play situation, and that would be the least impact on the character. So yeah, with ships specifically, it's pretty easy. You just basically take Empire, and you take Empire and put them underneath Tarkin, and you can blend some Sith in there, and bounty hunters and Galactic Republic, and then the Rebels kind of together. And if you're unsure of which one to run because you don't have like all of the ships, which you said you did, but a kind of a default catch-all is the Chimera. The Chimera is kind of the best all-around capital ship if you're struggling to kind of come up with a composition.
All right, Ranger, who's next?
Next up is, let me see here, is Jedi Master Dasha, Lady of the Sith.
Okay. For Adastra, we have a question from What Else 73, and he says, what are the best types of mods and sets for the new Ahsoka, Anakin, and GK?
All right. Well, for Anakin, you don't need any speed for him. You just let him go rage and murder stuff.
Pretty much.
Load him up with as much offense, crit damage, crit chance. So like for mine, and I have mine maxed out, so these stats are not realistic for people like, I have him at like 4.1k offense, 66% crit chance, and then a 222% crit damage. So I just went like all in for his damage output because he'll get a turn, and and again, his rage, he just goes on a rampage potentially. But even before that, he can still, I like pairing him with Ahsoka. It's been so much fun running those two together. So Ahsoka, you have like two different options is kind of how I view it. You can do the same route with her, do the slow tanky, because depending on the different leads, you'll get more bang for your buck. So like you can do the same idea, crit chance, crit damage, as much offense as you can muster. So she's another power hitter, and that's how I have her currently. But I also like the idea of making her faster because she doesn't get, those TM boosts and this and that like Anakin does. And you want her to go pretty often because she's also, again, another hitter, and she gets that speed boost, at least 2. So you could load her with more speed, but you still want her to be able to dish out the damage. So I would still recommend crit damage, crit chance. It's not hard to get her to have a good amount of crit chance. I believe she has a decent base, at least compared to other characters. And again, with all these bonuses with Jedi, that it helps to hit those marks. Like, I'm looking at mine. She has 74% crit chance, and that's just with the, and that's not even with the crit chance set. So it's pretty easy to get some respectable crit chance there. But that's the only time you want to run crit damage is if you can get a high amount of crit chance to make it worth your while to get those big hits. Because they, and then General Kenobi, right? So with him, it's kind of the same. If you transition this team to the GK led with these two, then that's when I would highly recommend Ahsoka to be more speed oriented, so she can, because her special counts as a heal, so you'll trigger that spam attack, and you can just, potentially one-shot something depending who's all on the team, or at least do a high amount of damage. But otherwise, but GK himself, you have that same option. You can run him fast or slow. fast would be more to get his spam attack going and his retribution. So like that's what I prefer personally, because that retribution can be super handy. And then of course his spam attack can be lethal too when it's well timed. But I know a lot of people love to run him slow and tanky, so his taunt will last longer, and he himself is much harder to take down. So it kind of comes down to like your overall composition that you're gonna go with. You know, the other two that you would run with them if you're talking about running these guys together, or just I mean that's what's kind of fun. You got different options. So I hope that helps give you some ideas.
All right. Hey, Finn, I'm going to stop because Vito Anto, it's his little girl's birthday, and anytime I see that, you know I have to do my thing. So she is turning 8, and she wanted Kermit the Frog to do her for her birthday, so I'm going to do that real quick. So, hi ho, Kermit the Frog here from Sesame Street News on the Jedi Academy, and today we have a special birthday for Dahlia. Dahlia's turning 8. Finn, can you count to 8? No? That's what I thought. Yay! So happy birthday, Dahlia. Happy birthday, and we hope you have a great birthday. Yay!
Yay! Happy birthday!
Oh yeah, I should count an 8 in proper style, right? 1, ha ha ha.
1, 2, birthday.
3 birthdays, ha ha ha. I'm not going all the way up to 8.
Yeah.
I was wondering how long you'd last.
Yeah, 3.
All right, next question for...
Well, we also got 2 super chat donations. So we got $10 from Kleb Zero, and he said good morning all. So
well,
good morning to you also, Kleb.
Well,
we did a Klebo's roster review.
That's right.
This week. And then we also got $2 from Kane77. So thank you very much, Kane.
Well, thank you very much.
Awesome.
And
nice. I have to get going myself. It's already.
Oh, it's that
I'm
time.
glad I was able to answer at least one question before I have to go.
And derail the entire beginning. So thank you.
Yes, thanks for being here.
All right, have a good one, everyone. Have an awesome weekend.
All right.
Bye, Dastra.
The Dark Lady, the Sith, has left the building. All right. Next question for Ramon.
Okay. It's a question from Northern Border, and he says, what are some decent options for Anakin in 3v3?
Well, I mean, you could go ahead and run the 3 that just got reworked. You know, you could run, Anakin with Kenobi and Ahsoka. That'd be kind of interesting, I think. But realistically, if you're going to apply Kenobi to another team, because you already kind of have him as part of another team, and he really doesn't need to be there, you could also. You see, the cool. That's kind of the cool thing now about adding Juhani, because you have now another Jedi tank. So I mean, you could really kind of mix and match between Old Ben, General Kenobi, Juhani, in this circumstance, and run 3 separate Jedi teams if you want to have a tank on every squad. But I would definitely say that putting Anakin and Ahsoka together would be beneficial. I kind of feel like they should be a separate team other than, let's say, your Bastila-led teams or your Jedi Knight Revan teams. So I would kind of... and I'm not a huge fan of Anakin's leader ability, to be honest, but it can win against some lower-level teams. I would suggest possibly either behind a Grandmaster Yoda lead or just straight up running Anakin lead with Ahsoka and General Kenobi, or Ahsoka and Juhani, or Ahsoka and Old Ben.
All right. Let's see here. Next one for T Money G, the Canadian princess herself.
And we got a $20 donation from Kane.
Oh, wow! Thank you very much.
Kane.
Yeah, he put 2, but I guess he left the zeros.
Yeah, he said it's supposed to be 20.
Wow. These things happen, you know.
And it was
All
his daughter's 9th birthday. Is it today or last Saturday?
Said Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Well, if he would like me to do if she's there, if she would like a shout out. And,
I want you to sing the Rainbow song. I'm channeling Samantha. That's what she wants.
Is she there?
There's so many.
Oh, I was thinking something completely different. All right, let's get T-Money a question while Ranger learns the Rainbow song. Blackbeard Premium question. Chances of clones getting reworked similar to bounty hunters?
Well, Blackbeard Premium, because CG has a personal vendetta against me and they're reworking all of the characters that I do not have, I will say that as a guarantee. Like all of the ones that they've reworked lately are just ones that have not, like the droid and these Jedi and certainly the clones. I think a lot of day one players are benefiting from these, from like the earlier investments that they made when, you know, clones were so great in P4 of the tank raid. They were very essential to beating that raid. And now they're giving them their heyday with them. I have absolutely no problem with that. Absolutely no problem. I think we want day one players in this game still, you know, like they give us a sense of, I don't know. It's great. You know, it's like somewhere to look to. It sounds so dumb, but it's, you know, it's true. It's like, oh, look at their rosters. But for me and for a lot of my guild, a lot of us are younger players, newer players. So we don't have a lot of those characters, even though my guild's quite high in GP. We're about 20th in the world, but I have, you know, I don't have clones and missing a lot of holes there. So I definitely think the clones are going to get a rework. I think it's going to be in relation to territory battles and the piece that I'm preaching right now with regards to territory battles is get your characters ready, get your Kit Fisto unlocked, get all his stars, get Ethkos stars, but do not raise them. Do not spend the credits. Don't make any investment until you're exactly sure what you're going to get for the investment that you make. Because I made the mistake of when Lightside Territory Battles came out, Zeta in Qui-Gon Jinn, which was just immediately useless. I can say that now that Adastra's gone. It's just been a completely useless Zeta for me. I wanted to help my guild, but helping my guild would have been waiting and putting that Zeta on something really useful. So, you know, we're PvP focused guild. If you're not, if you want to conquer your TB stars, go for it. But I would rather miss a star by 2 weeks than make my guild kind of farm something that is just going to be fluff, GP in their roster, especially with Grand Arena the way it is.
All right. I've gotten the lyrics here. So for Kane and his little girl for her birthday.
Do you not know this song, dude?
I do. I just couldn't remember the specific lyrics and stuff, you know. So it's been years.
I did not know this song.
What?
Yeah.
I have no idea what this is.
So, all right, the Rainbow Connection, sung by the great Kermit the Frog for Kane for his little girl and her birthday. Here we go. Why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the Rainbow Connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. La 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 la. There you go. All right, for your little girl for her birthday.
Oh wow! See, I was thinking totally different. I thought it was a song "Rainbows Keep Falling on My Head."
That's not even close. That's Burt Bacharach. Get out of here, Finn. You are shameful.
All right, who gets the next question?
Well, I'm busting him. He told me to shush, but Good Maurice has been here for 40 minutes.
Oh, has he really?
I'm gonna let him skip getting a question.
Oh, well, he'll have to wait his turn.
Good Maurice has been trolling in chat too. I've been watching him typing in there.
You guys are so passionate.
You wanted your Cisco voice. I saw your Cisco comment.
No, you guys
I didn't see it.
So passionate about this stuff, and in my perspective, really isn't that entertaining for YouTube. So I just kept quiet.
Your mic's super quiet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is that better?
Yes.
All right.
All right. So who gets the next question?
The next question is King Felix of Kentucky.
Okay. So for King Felix, question from Northern Border. Where does my HK land in 3 vs. 3s if I run Darth Revan with Bastila and Malik?
First of all, I live in Tennessee. Thank you very much, Ranger. And secondly, I would run the HK with other droids. Kind of depending on what you have, but use him with any other droid lineup or just a high damage output. He's not going to have a ton of, sustainability, but he still should be able to put out some damage if you're going to use Revan with Malik and Bastila.
Science. And I hear your little girl. She's not telling us to shut up right now, so that's a positive for us right now. So you guys, the pre-stream, King Felix said, "Oh no!
Oh God!
Oh no!" All right, now that he's joined us, all the way from North Kakalaki or somewhere in the Kakalakis, it's good old Maurice.
He's South Kakalaki, right?
He's on fire with the States today.
Yeah, he's South Kakalaki.
He's South Kakalaki. Okay.
Yeah, on fire.
All right. So, question from Nathaniel Morgan. Question: since General Grievous wrecks Darth Revan using the same principles as Jedi Knight Anakin, will CG realize it's not exactly Anakin that's the problem, but Darth Revan has the fatal flaw with ferocity?
Yeah, but I mean, I kind of was under the impression that was on purpose, because without that ferocity, I mean, that team would be, damn near unbeatable. I don't know how you would even beat it without ferocity. I guess I think that's kind of the design of the character. I mean, I don't think they're going to change ferocity. If they change ferocity, that's going to change the whole faction. I don't think they're. I think it's too complex to do anything about ferocity, right? So, I don't know. I think ferocity's here to stay. I just admit they might tweak other characters to, interact with maybe debuffs differently. Maybe in the future they release characters that, their offense is either hindered or does some sort of penalty against debuffed opponents. I don't know. That sounds stupid, but I mean, nothing really is out of the realm of possibility as we've seen the last month or so. So, I think ferocity's fine. I think that's a mechanic of the game. We just need to adapt to it. There's going to be other stuff. We're going to find stuff that beats Darth Revan. I mean, Darth Revan is still a new character. Darth Malik is brand new. We're going to find stuff that beats this. We just haven't had enough time as a community to really, figure it all out yet.
All right. Next question back up top to Running with Scissorman Warrior.
Okay. Question from JJ the Crazy Nico. Do you guys think the advice of hanging on to your guild event currency is a wise one with all of the upcoming Clone Wars content? It's such a good place for getting gear pieces, though.
So it's kind of an evolutionary process with those stores, any store specifically, as to whether you should be hoarding or keeping or using, blah, blah, blah. A good analogy is I have my whale account and I have my free-to-play account. My whale account, there's no reason not to just kind of hoard and save up that currency, because I didn't. I just kept buying gear unnecessarily, and now I can't get my Malik to 7 stars for like 3 months. So there's definitely something to be said about hoarding. And now that I, in hindsight, they said they were never putting characters into the stores ever again, and then they did that. So shame on me for listening to them. So yeah, I will definitely hoard in that sense. But on my free to play account, I'm young and not developed, and there are shards I need and gear I need and ships I need, and it would be stupid and unwise of me to not try to rapidly progress my development as fast as humanly possible on isolated individual characters that I'm trying to max out as fast as possible. And there is just so much opportunity with that currency to just explode, getting characters to 7-star faster, because this is one of those stores I don't talk about in my free-to-play thing, because it's just bonuses. It's just bonus stuff. So if you're in the game and you've got, the majority of stuff, then you're fine. then there's a balance. The balance is that you get to the point where you're 3 million or 3.5 million GP, and you got most of your teams, and you're kind of trying to fine tune the gearing of the last few teams for Sith Raid or something like that. What you do is you're getting 25,000 of that currency a month ish, something like that, 15,000 to 25,000. Hoard 10,000 of it and spend the other 5,000. Just like your check, when you get it from your business, you don't probably spend it all on beer. You probably put a little bit of it away for bills. So treat it like that. Spend some, save some, and that's kind of the balanced approach. So there's all three. I mean, if you're at the end, top of the game, then don't just stock gear to stock gear. I would save the currency and get a nice surplus. If you're in the middle, kind of balance it out. And if you're free to play, screw saving it, spend it on everything that you need. Just be hyper-focused on what you're spending on.
All right. Next question to my Ramona.
All right. So question for Ramon, and it's from Hellenix, and he's saying, I'm seeing lots of people quitting the game recently. This saddens me. What do you guys say to the people to keep them playing, encouraged, and engaged?
Buy a Chromium pack.
Thank you, Cozy Ramon. What the
Wow. Well, that's the end of Ramon as we knew him.
No. I actually have, pretty good experience with this. There are, quite a few people that in my guild that have either, gone off to the pastures and stopped playing at this point, or are thinking about it and talk about it all the time. And, my advice would be that, if you're not enjoying now, the reason they're feeling this is because they're not enjoying the gameplay, or they're not enjoying the constant need to spend money on the game, or they're not enjoying some aspect of the game anymore like they used to enjoy it. And listen, I feel like personally your enjoyment of the game can kind of mature or kind of change over time. And that's because there's lots of different aspects to this game. So it's not just an arena game. It's not just a guild-related, raid game. It's not just a game about, PvE content. There's a collection aspect to it. So, I mean, for somebody, some people just like to log in and, get their shards, farm their gear, level up their characters, and just kind of get their teams ready for certain parts of the game that might be coming out at some point, in the future. I mean, even myself, I mean, I'm not quite as active like in arena as I used to be. I mean, I still play, but it's like, I'm not like so concerned with getting rank 1 every day or, whatever, because I mean, I do occasionally spend a little bit here and there to catch up if I fall behind or something like that. So for me, that's okay. But what I'm saying is everybody's enjoyment of the game is a little bit different. So, I mean, if your, passion of the game is just kind of, the collection aspect and getting your characters to 7 stars and gearing them up and, that's what you enjoy, then go for it. If it's arena that you love and arena is not fun for you anymore, and you can find enjoyment somewhere else, then do that. But again, you have to enjoy the game. If you're at the point where literally, you're only doing it because you don't want to let people down, or you're only doing it because because if you feel like you're not getting any enjoyment out of the game anymore, then I would say, then you need to seriously think about, what you want to do. But if you're still getting some enjoyment out of the game and you love Star Wars and, you're kind of waiting for something more interesting to come, I do think that, there is more stuff coming down the pipe that'll be more fun and interesting. But again, I don't think that this game is going to revolutionize in any way where we're going to get some sort of, I've been waiting for we were waiting for Guild versus Guild forever, and then Territory Wars came out, and it's it's kind of guild versus guild, but not really what I wanted. You know, I wanted like more of like a tournament style guild versus guild where we face each other in like brackets, and you know, I was
Grand Arena, but guild style.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that we would get like a more personal, like, I mean, like it would be cool to be like in a Discord talking smack with somebody and like, you know, I'm facing Warrior in like 10 minutes. And it's like, I mean, like, you know, now I know that not everybody could play a game like that where, you know, you have to be on at a certain time. But I think that there could be some real fun had there if they were able to do something like that. I don't know. But anyway, what I'm saying is, moral of the story is basically only you can know if you really are done with the game or if you want to retire. And the only thing I would say is if you're going to make that decision, you know, do it based upon yourself and like what your enjoyment of the game. I wouldn't let any outside influences affect your decision. You know, if you're in a situation where you don't want to let down your guild mates, and you know, you also don't want to keep spending money because you know if you keep playing the game, you're going to keep spending money on the game, and you feel like it's a drain on your personal life, like you can't pay your bills because you're spending money on this game, or you can't you know, it's hurting your financial situation, then I would seriously consider getting out, because this is one of those games where you can get into a trap where, you know, you feel like you're trapped spending money, and you know, it's hurting you, you know, because maybe your financial situation isn't exactly the same as it was a year ago or 2 years ago when you started playing, and now, you know, you're in a situation where like you're going to fall behind in the guild that you're in if you know don't spend as much anymore, and you know, maybe you feel like, you know, you're kind of obligated to do so to not let down your team. And, you know, you're just, you know, you're kind of, you know, continuing to live above your means in the game when it's not, you know, something that you feel like doing. I mean, you know, again, if you still have enjoyment of the game, you know, just, I would say, you know, try to rethink maybe where your placement is and understand that maybe you're not spending that money as much anymore. And, you know, maybe you have to move into a different team to continue to play, and you can still have fun playing, you know, free to play. Or if you really think that the only way to do it is to go cold turkey and just shut it out, then I would say that you really need to consider doing that, because again, I've seen a lot of people that get themselves in some really financially bad situations because they just continue to spend money when they don't have it, you know. And so for everybody, it's a little different, but that's just my opinion about it. Everybody's situation is a little different, so you know, there's no way to really pinpoint an answer to that question. But I'd say that, you know, you have to really just kind of you know, evaluate your personal situation and just see, you know, what makes sense for you.
All right. Next question will go to the Maple Princess of all of Canada, T Money G.
Before I give her a question, really quick, Warrior, you can't get a win this week. Damn, you answer the last question, and then JJ the Crazy Neko says, "But I like beer." To which Manporg on Twitch says, "I spent all my money on beer."
Funny.
Oh Lord.
All right. So question for T Money, and questions from Sith Lord 72, and he says, "Is it better to gear Night Sisters or First Order first? My guild is approaching Heroic Sith, and I want to be ready for Traya, but my guild could also use First Order for Territory Wars. Should I gear Traya for Territory Wars as well?"
Yes, hold on. Come here. My little dog's gonna pee on the floor. Night Sisters, hands down. Night Sisters. First Order is a great faction. First Order can beat a lot of teams. It needs practice, which is really, there's no real place to practice right now unless you wait in Grand Arena for your opponent to fail, and then you can go ahead and, you know, try a couple of the teams out that aren't meta, or, you know, take a little bit of risk. But Night Sisters, hands down, Night Sisters beat almost everything in the game except for Darth Revan. You can get them, you know, I have a Jedi Knight Revan counter to Night Sisters. It's a lot of a lot of resources, but hands down, Night Sisters is going to be one of the very, very best teams on defense in Territory Wars, on offense in Territory Wars, defense in Grand Arena, and certainly for multiple phases of the Sith raid. You can really run them in P2, 3, and 4. 4 is where they're kind of traditionally run, but if you're beating the Sith raid for the first time, you're going to want to do back-to-back runs. So you have somebody go in, they finish their run, they post if they've gotten over a certain percent, then they post and come out, then the second person goes in. That's how it works when you're trying to really maximize your damage. So Night Sisters, hands down. I love my First Order team. I can beat Night Sisters with my First Order team. I can beat Vassal is not as reliable for me, but there's lots of teams I can beat with them. We did a video about beating Trey with them a while back, but Night Sisters is much better. Oh, Night Sisters can't beat Trey either. That's a really tough one. That's a tough one to do. Good old Maurice probably can, but he can beat anything with his Night Sisters.
All right. Next question for King Felix the Just.
Okay. So, question from Darsion 1972 from Twitch says, as I approach the endgame content, I have all the legendaries except Malik, but I'm ready for the next time it comes around. What is the most effective gearing strategies for a roster? I have all the solid teams for Territory Wars, TP, and Grand Arena. Should I finish gearing clones to gear 12 or work on Separatists for the next TB?
Okay, this is something I'm also dealing with because I was a whale, now I'm more of a midget dolphin. But so I'm also working on getting everybody else to my roster to gear 12 because I'm a collector, not like T Money G who only gears the tune she's going to use. Like, what kind of strategy is that? But what I recommend doing is focus on one team, one faction, get it all the way up, and then move on. Don't put everybody to gear 10 and then slowly do one at a time. Focus on either be it a team of 5 that you're planning on using for Territory Wars or Grand Arena, or be it a faction like the Separatists for the upcoming territory battles. They did say they're starting with Dark Side first this time, so Separatists are a good idea. But for that, just focus, stay on target, like Warrior always says. Don't bounce around when the new, they're going to put something out that's going to try to throw you off. So just stay on whatever you pick. I'm working on Separatists right now. Stay on them until they're done, and you should be ready for the new territory battles and Midriff Padme, Finn's favorite character.
I know. I'm waiting. I'm eagerly waiting. All right, who gets the next question?
That would be Carolina's finest.
Good old Maurice.
Good old Maurice.
All right. So, question here from SWU Efrel Stern, and he says, "Who would Ahsoka replace on a Jedi Knight Revan team for mirror matches?"
Well, I guess if you wanted to make 2 teams, you could split off Bastila. I guess it depends. If you have that Zeta, if you do not have the Zeta on Ahsoka, then you could probably slap her on Jedi Revan. If you do want to put the Zeta on or already have it, I don't think Jedi Revan is really going to be the best fit because you've essentially just wasted your Zeta. Yeah, the leader has to be Galactic Republic for her to assist with that Zeta, right? I'm not entirely sure. I don't have any of these Galactic Republic ready. But if you don't have the Zeta and you put her on the team, I guess it would be maybe Jolie, I guess, because she would be a cleanse. I don't know.
Does she have a Zeta, or is it an Omega?
No, it's a Zeta on her unique, but it's what good old Maurice was saying. It's only if the allied leader is Galactic Republic. So if you have a Jedi Knight Revan lead, then it's not going to really.
Yeah, I don't think you really mess with your traditional team. Maybe if you just have Anakin, maybe you could slot in Anakin. He's much easier to slot in. But I think Ahsoka, if you really want to deck her out with that Zeta, you're going to have to use somebody like, either Anakin's lead, GK lead. You can use a Luminara lead. You could use that lead. You could use all sorts of leads. We were talking about our show last week, the potential of maybe a Grandmaster Yoda or even like an Ayla lead, and kind of build them like tenacity oriented, so you just simply cannot daze Ahsoka, because that's going to be the glaring weakness of this team, is just daze. Is you're going to be able to daze Ahsoka. It won't work for Anakin, I don't think, but Ahsoka, if you daze her and keep her under control, because she is a slow character. She will cleanse herself when she goes, but she's slow and very similar to like a Zeta Young Han. If you can daze Young Han, you kind of neutralize the Zeta altogether. So I think you'll be better suited to try to build a Galactic Republic oriented team with your Ahsoka. I don't know if that really answered the question or not, but I don't think it's a good idea, Revan. Maybe I'm wrong. I am probably wrong, but.
All right. Next question. Back up top to Colorado Rocky Mountain High's finest warrior.
All right. Question from Elliot Worsfold. Is the Karth lead Old Republic team better on defense or offense for Grand Arena? And who would you use for Karth in a 3v3 Grand Arena?
Warrior.
Sorry, I was chatting with a coworker. I apologize. Can you please give me the question again?
Sure. From Elliot Worsfold. And he says, is the Karth lead Old Republic team better on defense or offense for Grand Arena? And who would you use with Karth in 3v3?
A simple team is Karth and Mission and Zalbar, and you can use them on offense or defense. It's a solid defense team, and I suggest it on defense just because it requires a meta team to beat. So it really pulls their potential, offensive teams out of the way. So you can kind of put in something good in the back, and hopefully they'll fail in a full clear. But it's a great team on offense too. If you always clear everybody every time, and they're clearing you everybody every time, and you're trying to get those extra few points, health, protection, regeneration can ensure that you get the maximum points through each win. And so teams like First Order and Old Republic and things like that, Jedi Knight Revan, those are great defensive teams because they're so durable because of the protection regeneration, but they're also great on offense because you can ensure that you can regenerate your protection and get maximum points. So you just have to decide where you're at. I mean, if you're getting full clear every time, then you could probably start using some of these teams. But I am of the mind you should always go heavy defense, and then do your very, very best on offense using creative offensive teams to clear them. And the reason is if you put in trash, they're always going to clear you, and then you're going to have to be efficient, and it's now on you to be perfect. And if you put in heavy defense, they have to earn their win. And if they earn it, right? Good job. Yay, clap hands, and, good job. You did a great job. But, I really feel like if I'm going into Grand Arena, if I lose, you're going to earn that win. You're going to earn that victory against me. And so these are teams that I personally choose to put on defense. Karth with Mission and Zalbar. However, you can use Karth with any Old Republic characters. He works really well with the combinations. He's good with him, Canderous Ordo, and even Juhani as a tank for that team. So it's kind of weird. I've even used Karth, Canderous Ordo, and Grimorian Guard. If you're trying to free up some of those other characters for offense and things like that. But I would use them on defense.
All right. Next question for Ramon.
Okay. So this kind of goes to what we were talking about at the beginning, Ramon. So it's a question from us, Mike. And he says, it seems like the greater part of the year, most of the game changers have been unhappy with the program. If a game changer offers no extra benefit, if being a game changer offers no extra benefits, why continue in the program?
Well, the hope is that things will change. We've kind of gone through sort of a changing of the guard here in the last couple of months with our representation from the studio. And I don't want to get into specifics, but I'll tell you that basically there's been kind of some changes in the background to our direct contacts with the studio. And it's been for various different reasons. Initially we used to report, directly to EA Jesse. Jesse's moved on to Anthem, and now I'm sure he's got his issues going on with that right now. But then we started reporting to somebody else, and our benefit to staying with the program is that there is no benefit to not being a part of the program, if that makes any sense. If things are to improve and we are to get early access to something, or get some information that could help us provide better content for our viewers, then it can only be a positive thing. To not be a part of the program, then you just basically lose any of those opportunities. So, and there's other benefits to being a game changer besides just being a part of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. We're part of a Game Changer network, and we have access to other opportunities for other games. So if another game comes out, like let's say later this year we have Jedi Fallen Order coming out, we have an opportunity to, in some cases, get early access to those games, to make videos about those games. And when Game Changer programs do form around those other opportunities, we would probably be one of the first in line to be selected to be a part of those programs. So, when you're a part of the Game Changer program, you're not married to a specific game. You're married more to Electronic Arts as a whole. And, being that Electronic Arts is such a, such a gigantic company in the gaming industry, it definitely benefits to work with them in many different ways. So, even if we're not necessarily getting the access that we used to get in this particular game, if people, let's say, want to start covering another game, or, if they want to, explore the opportunities that, are involved with, being, kind of affiliated with Electronic Arts, there are other benefits. And to be honest with you, they've been very good to us. Again, this is just more of a communication thing that we're talking about here, and we're kind of disappointed about, that, because we used to have a certain expectation to get communication in advance when things were coming out, so that we could prepare our content for it. But they've flown us out to California on multiple occasions, and paid all of our expenses, and treated us really nice. So, I have nothing but great things to say about the program. I just think that, most of us would love to get a little bit more communication when it comes to releases, because, part of being a game changer is being able to be, the first one to drop content about it. And when we're not finding out about the content until the last minute, it's just not what we're used to, over the span of the game. So, again, that's just my thought process on it. Everybody has to get their own value out of it, but I think that there's more value to it than just, what you see.
All right. Next question to Canadian's version of Frozen Princess, T-Money G.
All right. So, T-Money, question from Sean Ragnar the Red Kelly. He says, seems like they have told us some of the light side Clone Wars content, like Padme, clones, and some Jedi too. Any ideas on some dark side Clone Wars content that might be coming to the game besides the Geonosians?
Well, that's probably a better question for Ramon than
you're going to answer, young lady.
No, my lore sucks. I'm like Princess Leia and the Millennium Falcon. Whee!
The answer is simple: Newt Gunray nerf.
What did you say?
We might be getting. I can definitely imagine us getting a capital ship in conjunction with possibly both territory battles. Maybe looking at the Malevolence or Newt's ship. What's Newt's ship? Is it just it's just a standard?
I'm pretty sure it had a name, but I can't remember it either.
Yeah.
Newt's ship is the name of it.
Newt's ship. That's the one.
Oh,
but yeah, I am actually curious to Ramon. What do you think about that, or Ranger? You lore nerds.
Okay, what's the question again?
What are we going to get as far as dark side territory battles goes in conjunction with the Clone Wars?
Well, I'm pretty sure dark side territory battles wise, like as far as like character releases and things like that. I mean, I think we're going to get some Geonosis characters, some Geonosians. I think we're going to get some Separatist characters. As far as like specifics, I can't tell you. I think that capital ship wise, I mean, any capital ship at this point would be fantastic. I don't know if it's going to be a new Gunray's ship. I mean, that was something that was kind of talked about like years ago, and then it never really fabricated into anything. But I mean, I'm hearing different things. I mean, I'm hearing that we'll get some stuff for the clones and some stuff for maybe we'll get Padme. But dark side wise, I think it would be probably either Geonosian related or let me see here. Or
I mean, they haven't announced a Mace rework, so maybe we're just getting a new Mace.
See, that's the thing is like there's so much more light side stuff to talk about with Geonosis, because we have so many of the dark side related stuff already. We've already got Django, we've already got a lot of that stuff out in the game. So it's like I mean, the one thing I can say for sure is probably an additional character to the Geonosians and maybe a complete synergy there, maybe an overhaul to the whole faction. Which would be cool because there's some really cool Geonosian characters. I mean, Sunfac is still a great character. I think Geonosian Soldier could still, see some use if his kit was completely reworked. I mean, he was like the character for like the longest time. And if you guys remember, like when the game first came out, I mean, Geonosian Soldier was like, the generic character that everybody had to have.
Urzatron is in chat and said maybe Darkside Barris coming into the game.
Darkside Barris.
Why is he in chat? Why does he join us in the Jedi Academy? Urz, you suck.
Because I don't think he has the meeting info.
Well, send him the meeting info. Let's get the Hall in here. God dang it. I know it's like 11 something in the morning or earlier, but damn, we need little Carillion line, little love for everybody in here. So let's get Urza in here. Urza, you suck.
Don't forget the Geonosian Queen. I know it wasn't the Battle of Geonosis, but I feel like that's somewhere they could go with.
They could.
Did we ever actually see the Geonosian Queen? I mean, they just talked about her, right? Like, I mean, we never actually saw it.
You do. She's huge, though. She's like literally, I think, 100 or 200 times the size of a Geonosian. So it's kind of like bringing Jabba into the game. It's,
you might have mistaken her for a building.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Jabba and Geonosian Queen, they fill up the whole team whenever we get them both in the game. All screens fill that.
That'd be cool.
Definitely the wolf pack, right? The wolf the wolf pack would be right around then. With synergy with Plo Koon, that's something my guild's waiting for big time for sure. That would be they would be able to add a bunch more clones.
I think that's going to happen once the new Clone Wars comes out. Did we ever get a date? Because I don't think that's going to come out for the territory battle. I think it's going to come out after
the Clone Wars show on TV.
Yeah.
They're saying probably not till next year. It's going to be on the Disney streaming service, and we're going to get
it's coming in November.
Is it November?
Yeah.
I knew it was this year.
Yeah, it's this year. They announced it at Celebration.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when I think you're going to get the clone reworks.
Yeah, with the launch of the channel, you'll get the Clone Wars, the Mandalorian, all that stuff. Just take all my money. Just here you go. Just take it.
I know. How dare they give me all this stuff that I want?
Yeah, gosh.
I'm sure we'll get some clones and some Geonosians. That's for sure.
All right, next question for King Felix of Tennessee, not Kentucky.
Thank you.
All right, question from Moss Mike. Says it seems the greater. Oh, wait, that's the one I just did. Sorry, Nathaniel Morgan. Question for Adoster's not here. All right, so let me go to the next one. Kane 77. Just put a Zeta on Malik's Jaws ability. He's 5-star, gear 9. Is that viable?
Absolutely, because I started using him at 5-star gear 9, and have slowly put him up. Now he's at gear 11. He's absolutely viable. It's not even his stars are going to be amazing once you get them. But I fight the 7-star gear 12 Malix, and it's all about how you use his ability or his kit. Excuse me. Let's see. I'm just wanting to see. He put it on Jaws. Which one is that? First time Darth. Yes. No. That's
sucks the moisture out of them.
Completely suck the moisture out of everyone. Completely usable at gear 9. That's where I started, and I've slowly built him up. He's at gear 11 now. But he's absolutely usable. You just want to put as much health as you can on Darth Malak, and you will destroy whoever stands before you, Nathaniel Morgan.
Oh.
Unless it's me, then you're going to lose, but still.
Well, fighting words.
Sorry, that question was from Kane77. Nathaniel was asking a question for Adastra. So.
No, see, you cheat me. All right, Kane, I will destroy you then.
You can destroy Nathaniel Morgan, too. I'm not saying you have to.
Yes, all of you. Except for Warrior, his account.
All of the destroys. Okay. Next question for the dance machine himself. Good old Maurice.
All right. Apropos Wooin, question: wouldn't making Malak immune to stun solve all of this issue and not kill the Sith?
He is immune to stun underneath Darth Revan, isn't he?
Plus, the whole thing is about
the Empire.
Yeah. But it's also not related to the stun, right? It's the damage aspect of it that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Well, could you repeat the question?
Wouldn't making Malak immune to stun solve the issue and not kill the Sith?
Making Malak immune to stun and not kill the Sith? He's already immune to stun.
But the problem is there actually was no issue with Malak or Palpatine. That was a really bad nerf.
Oh, he's saying it's a typo. He's saying he meant to say immune to shock.
Oh.
Wouldn't have making Malak immune to shock have solved the issue.
That would have been a much better. That's actually not a terrible idea, because that would allow him to continue to taunt, and keep his taunt relevant without just crippling an entire faction. I think that would have been a fair approach to it. I mean,
why isn't this dude on CG's payroll?
Yeah, like that's a good suggestion, man. I wish, or woman, I wish that. Yeah, where were you a couple years ago?
Your gender.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
This is a great Jedi.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, I was so I got.
Whoa, man.
I was amped up to and then you guys made me sit through, an episode of Maury Povich. Just hanging out.
You have done that yourself, Anakin.
Bright side is that conversation did answer some questions. I've been able to skip over it because we discussed it in depth for the first 50 minutes of this show.
No, we need to go back over this, Finn.
No. We have other questions.
Yes.
We have 12 minutes left.
And get Urzatron in here.
I gave him the link. He might not be ready. I gave him the link.
He's recovering after a night out in the hall. So,
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next, back up to the top to Weekend Warrior.
Okay. So we have two questions that are pretty much the same thing. So the first one is from James Malvazio, and I think that's a new name. So welcome, James. He says, "What are your thoughts on 3v3 with Sith Empire? Should I have Malak or HK as a third?" And similar question from Paparazzi, who says, for 3v3, who pairs better with Darth Revan and Dark Side Bastila? Is it HK or Malak?
Oh, man. I knew this was going to come up, and I didn't want to give my 3v3 strategy over the air, but I'm going to go ahead and do it because they asked, and I'm a nice guy.
You give the people what they need, Warrior.
Yes. Honestly, this is evil. So, Darth Revan, I would put on defense, and I would put him with HK. He's phenomenal, and Bastila. For the reason of the three of them have significant, unique synergy within each other, and we all know that team takes absolute meta to beat, and very few people are having an easy time beating it. Yeah, with 3v3, it's almost impossible to beat that. Now the fight is, if you put in Malik, it becomes nearly invincible. Stick it in the front, and voila, you've prevented a clear. That's a possibility, but people are probably going to go in with 2 meta teams, kill one, kill everybody but Malik, and then go back in and kill Malik, pick him off at the end. So while it seems like a sound thing, good players will get through it. They're just going to have to take multiple good teams to do it, and they probably already are strategizing on how they're going to do that. So I'm of the idea that the trio should go together, and then Malik, you should actually be put with Darth Maul. Yeah, evil. And then another Sith. And it's just wrong. You put him in the back. Nobody's going to even realize he's there until it's too late. And they're going to be like, crap. I've got to defeat this, and their traditional counters aren't going to work when Malik's present. So they're going to have to figure out what a counter 3v3 is to a Darth Maul who's stealthing with a Malik in the background. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see how it works out, and I think it's pretty devious, and I think it'll be a pretty big success. So that's what I would do.
All right. Next question for...
Should we give something to Urza?
Yeah. Did he show up?
I'm here. And first, I just want to wish you all good morning, especially to T-Money and good old Maurice. Hi, guys.
Wait, why do they get this special love? What the hell?
Hey, sir.
Urza, I'm getting sick.
Have you not realized that
I'm sick. I'm getting sick of this. You know what? You promised me VIP treatment. Urza still haven't got it.
Okay, Ranger, we have to hold that to later.
I'm calling this out in the air. Urza.
We've already derailed this for 50 minutes.
We have plenty of time.
We have plenty of time.
No, we don't.
We're not constrained by the time limits at you. Yes. Okay.
You don't tell me how to live my life, Finn.
Yeah, that's right. You don't know me.
You don't know me.
All right, for our good friend from the hall, Urzatron, let's give him a question.
All right. So Urza, question from Grande Verga, and he says, should I Zeta HK or Malik first? My Malik is stuck at gear 9.
I would go with HK, and I would go with the damage. I think the overall consensus is the damage Zeta does more work than the turn meter one. So I did it the opposite, but I guess it came out afterwards that I did it wrong, and you want to go with the big damage there. And my Malik is at gear 9 right now. I have almost 2 Zetas to spare. I should have done it before lock-in on Grand Arena, but he's getting my next 2. And but yeah, if your HK is further along than your Malik, definitely go with HK. I guess we didn't know where his HK was at. So,
all right, words of wisdom from hungover Urzatron. All right, next question to Modding Mon.
All right, Revenator. I think that was your weakest one yet.
Is that really how far down the pole we're at now? Like,
well, I was gonna go something else, but then I'm like, well, I would not be.
When you were gone, Ranger, I just went online and used a random adjective generator. It was actually kind of fun.
I don't do.
T-Money got mad at me for one of them. I had to change it.
Oh.
All right, so from Revenator Ramon, since General Kenobi's pack, the $25 one, is for 50 shards, is more expensive than Anakin's and Ahsoka's at $15 for the same amount of shards, why would his shards not be scaled equivocally in the shard shop?
But his shards aren't scaled equivocally in the shard shop. Is that so? They're saying that, like, his shards are worth less than Anakin and Ahsoka's shards.
It's worth more. You have to pay $25 for 50 of Anakin versus $15 for 50 of Ahsoka and Anakin, and $25 for 50 of Kenobi.
Well, Kenobi's a legendary character. I mean, basically, he's a character that you were only able to attain prior to that pack through a raid. So I think that there's a reason that they did that, or I'm just crazy and it's an accident. You know what I mean? But
Revenator knows the answer to that, though. He knows the answer to that. Every shard has only ever been worth the same amount when you dump it in the shard shop. He knows that. The only shards that are worth more are ship shards, and they're only worth one more. And so, but premium shards and regular shards have always cost different in the store. It's never been different. It's always been the same. When you buy a shard, it's like 80 crystals for one shard on a premium character, 50 on a non-premium. And some of the really premium characters, they've even gone up as high as to 400 a shard on a few other characters. So it's one of those things where on the front side, there's always a variant based off of how rare or how, critical it is to get that particular character. And on the back side, it's all trash. It's all just dumped into the same rate.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So yeah, I mean, it's Kenobi is just is a harder character to attain than the other two. I mean, the other two have been available free to play since pretty much the inception of the game, whereas Kenobi is still a raid character, and they probably hold more value to his shards.
All right. Next question for the maple syrup pimp herself, T Money G.
Pimpette.
No,
Yeah.
she's pimping. She's straight pimping.
From Klebo, he says, with Malik not the next raid character, when do you think we will get the 4th raid? And bonus question, do you think we will still need, and I hate when people type this, okay, do you still think we will need Sith ships? I have to say that slowly.
Say that again 3 times fast for me.
How many Sith ships?
Ships.
How many
Sith ships?
So when are we getting a new raid? I'm just trying to think, and I think I'm going to look this week a little bit at the rollout of their original territory battles to see when the raid came in relation to those. If you guys know, you can jump in on that. But they tend to follow a formula. The company, for all of the kind of spazzy things they do from time to time, they do tend to follow a formula with regards to rollout. There's been a bunch of new stuff lately. The what are they called? The Galactic Chase. Those sorts of things are new, but definitely for their big rollouts, it's a huge amount of work, huge timeline. So they kind of have to stick to a certain formula there. I think that we're definitely getting territory battles, and then we'll probably get light side territory battles, dark side territory battles, and then if a raid is to come after that, I think though that these territory battles might be a little bit different. They have said that we will be fighting one of the monsters from the Colosseum within the territory battles, and it will feel like a raid. So there might be something within that. I also think it's going to be a lot harder. The top 5 guilds, they finished light side territory battles very quickly within a couple months. Warrior, when was TI done light side territory battles?
Say that again.
How long after territory battles was released on light side was Team Instinct done? It was only like maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks, right?
No, the very first territory battle we completed on the very first attempt of the very first launch. The dark side territory battle took 3 attempts to get the high enough GP, and then Geonosis will probably take 3 to 5 attempts to get max, because they're going to continue to raise that bar.
So there you go. So they're going to raise the bar. We need content for late game players, and I expect these 2 territory battles to be a lot more dynamic. Thank God, because they're boring right now, and to be a lot more difficult for the ceiling to be higher in the stars. So territory battles, and then the raid. But somewhere within that too, we're going to see, I think we've been saying this forever, but I think it makes sense now finally, a level cap increase, possibly to 100. We have all of the Gear 12 gear is now farmable in different nodes. It's available in the shard shop. So we're looking towards Gear 13 at some point as well. And also mods, moving to as you just have to look at the big guilds. Once the whales and the big guilds have like 260 mods each, you better believe something else is going to come for them to keep engaged with the game.
100. Heavenly Christ! That would take like 7. That would take like a year to get to 100.
I'll see how many mods I have, but I have pretty close to that.
But think about, I know
maybe not close to that. Maybe
I'm thinking of a level cap increase from 80 to 100.
Oh no! 85. You ever see a boss that's 90? I don't think there's any bosses that are 90. It's either 85 or 100. I maybe I'm wrong about that.
No, there are 90s.
The Rancor is 90.
Yeah.
I was
is as well in the Separatist event.
I don't know if they haven't done it in so long to make a 5 level I don't know. Maybe not, because I guess it would make everything just redundant to the game if there was that big of a leap.
Let's just go to 150.
It would be like
just go 150, just straight to 150. You're gonna be grinding.
Why stop at 150? Let's just go 200.
Because
1,000.
The credits double. I mean, the amount of credits you would have to spend it would cost you like 30 million credits to get a character
per character. Yeah,
it would be crazy.
And
that's about 2 million per level. So yeah, you're right.
Hey Finn.
Yep.
Can I interject a question real quick for the panel here?
Sure.
I'm looking at my Malak right now, and someone told me I still have time before lock-in to Zeta. So is it the Jaws of Life or is it the Fear one?
The Jaws of Life, buddy.
Jaws of Life. Which one is the Fear?
Gnawing Terror.
Gnawing Terror? No, do Jaws of Life.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Jedi Academy helping Urzatron to bring you better content when he's drinking.
Do them both, Urzatron.
You can do them both. It's a big difference, but
yeah, I'm 5
What
off
is your health and protection on your Malak?
He's like G9 right now, so I can move I can move a health set onto him, but yeah, there's not going to be 60. So
the reason I'm asking is because when I look at the two, right, Gnawing Terror seems to be the one that I favor over the other one, but it depends on your health and protection on your Malak, because he has to hit those thresholds of 75%, 50%, and 25. And most people don't target Malak at the beginning, right? So he's only going to get that triggered with whatever AoE damage. So if it's lower, you're able to hit those thresholds a little bit quicker. I think it's better if you have a little bit lower health at first. So it just depends. To me, anyways, it would depend on what your health protection combo is for your Malak to see how quickly you can hit those thresholds.
You just got to be careful with that, Finn, because when you get to some of the higher, like, because I don't have the best mods, and I tried the same idea to I went with like a speed and nonsense because I was trying the same idea, and my Malak was getting one-shotted by HK and Darth Revan, so I had to go all the way maxed out on health, and he still meets those. I get to use it probably about 3 times a match because he still meets those thresholds.
Oh, let me clarify. I'm not saying to change his mods. I think you still mod him with health sets and protection primaries as much as you can to stack his health. What I was saying is that if your total health and protection, though, is low, right? Like, let's say it combined, it's only 80,000. Then 20,000 damage from a couple of AoEs is pretty easy to get. But if I've seen some of them at like 120,000, 140,000 total health protection combined. That all becomes health, right? Getting 35,000 hit on you is not, I mean, except for Anakin now, but I mean, in general, it's not super easy to get AoE hit for 35,000 and to trigger it.
But you got to remember, they're going to hit you with pretty much 3 AoEs right off the bat.
If you face a Revan team, but if you're in Grand Arena, it's possible that the Darth Revan's on defense, so you're facing something else, right? So
that's true.
It goes back to the strategy also on what they're placing on defense, what you're placing on defense.
I still think Jaws of Life is the way to go.
I mean, I know this is just random, but I mean, have you guys noticed getting more shards from your Bronzian packs lately?
Yes, I have.
Nope, not me.
I've gotten the 10 of Royal Guard like 4 times in the past week.
I've gotten like a ton of shards lately. I got a full unlock of 5s last night, 50 shards.
I got a Mace Windu 80 last weekend too. I noticed the same thing, and I'm concerned.
Why?
Because whenever something seems too good, it usually is. Especially with this game, the only thing that's keeping me calm is the fact that I'm getting absolutely nothing dropping on Anakin's ETA Starfighter. I'm lucky to get 1 out of the 10 because I refreshed to 25. I'm lucky to get 1.
And you'll take that one and be happy about it.
Yeah, I'll be super happy.
All right,
we have 2 more questions and then some fun questions, and then we'll be good. So.
Well, Urza's missed a lot of the questions. Let's get old Urza in here and give him a couple questions and embarrass him.
All right. So Chris Coco asks, how long before we see Leviathan?
Leviathan, correct me, is it Malak's, right? Mm-hmm. And Ravagers is
Nihilus. Yeah.
I would say it's probably going to be pretty soon, right? I mean, that would be the next guess. I mean, we have a bunch of Sith ships in the game.
See, it's not that easy to say. It's not just
I mean, it's got to be soon, right? Like we've been sitting on the same damn capital ships for so long now. Like it's got to be soon. I don't know.
Side note: there's a dev named CG Leviathan. Just saying.
Yeah, there's that too. I don't know. That's a tough one to answer.
Look, I hate ships, but I don't see. It feels like CG hates them as well.
Yeah, I agree.
No, I'm being serious because
you're not wrong.
How many characters do we have? Isn't it like 170 or something?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not up on the numbers right now, and we have what 30 plus ships with 4 capital ships. They hate ships. They realized it was a mistake.
Pretty much.
When ships came out, they started talking about doing like ground vehicles as well. If you remember that when it first came out, they were talking about doing like the
ground assault
and the ATT, ATST, all that stuff. And they realized that they messed up, and they're not putting enough They're not putting enough ships for the pilots they have. They're not adding pilots for ships because the pilots don't have enough storyline in the movies. It's all messed up. And if there was 100 ships, I would be more interested in it. But there's only 30. It's not that interesting.
Well, there's like
the 3 starting lineup was a huge mistake. One of my least favorite things CG ever did to this game.
Well, there's a lot of ships that aren't. I mean, they finally got Anakin's ship in the game, but I mean, you know, Yoda has a ship. Eventually,
Kenobi,
Luke will have a ship. Yeah,
Dooku.
Yeah, Dooku had a ship. Yeah,
Asajj has a ship. But they're adding. You know, they have Geospy with a ship. Like, what's going on?
I don't know. All right, next question for Urs, and then we'll finish.
All right, last question. So, Ryuk, what counters are good to use against Malak, Revan, and Fallen Bastila?
You're talking to the wrong man. I'm gonna defer to my friends over at the Metaverse on this one.
Good old Maurice from South Kakalaki, take it away.
What was the question?
That's perfect. Ryuk says,
Also very likely hungover this morning.
What are good counters to use against Malak, Revan, and Fallen Bastila?
Attack the other territory.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's a very, very difficult team. There's some people working on it. I think there's some videos floating around. I'll try and grab them and drop it into the RSG Discord. But it's tough. If you have that team, you're gonna want to put it right up front. And I think Warrior mentioned earlier, it might be picking it apart, right? Like if you bring in, I don't know, like CLS Han Chewie, try and take out Bastila on one shot, go back in with, I don't know, like it's gonna be a bit of a mess. This is gonna be a very, very messy Grand Arena, and the next Territory Wars is going to, there will be tears shed, and they will be mine. It's going to be an insane mess, particularly if they nerf Anakin before that, because you're literally dealing with mods versus mods, right? Like, yeah, like whoever's, you know, Darkside Bastila / Darth Revan goes first wins. That's going to be really tough for underdog guilds.
I will say what you do not want to do is be scared of this team and keep your Darth Revan. That is not a good strategy, because if you bring your Darth Revan in to attack theirs and lose, you have now given your opponent a free shot at your board. So you want to put your opponent in the same position you're in. Do not keep your Darth Revan because you're scared of Darth Revan. You know, everybody is scared of Darth Revan and Malak right now, so you need to use that to your advantage and place it on defense. I do not think you should keep it at all. You could always go in there with just just like way back when Territory Wars was first introduced, the easiest way to beat Palpatine was you sacrificed banners, but you went in and soaked up all the abilities of the Suicide Team, then brought in a team, you know, to clean it up. I mean, this could possibly work in 3 vs 3. Bring in a little semi. You don't want to make them too squishy, but bring in like maybe some of your geared 9-ish, 10-ish characters. Have Revan, you know, drain his fear. Have, you know, maybe Darkside Bastila use some of her special abilities. Just maybe that might be helpful for those of you without too much depth or really an idea of how to beat it. I don't know what I'm going to do necessarily. It's going to be on the fly. I play so much on defense. It's going to be interesting to see what I come up with. But
Now for
Yes.
threes, are we putting where are we putting Malik? Are we pulling HK out of that? Like where are we putting Malik for three?
You have to go back and listen on Jedi Academy, Urza.
Yeah.
He's definitely going. He's definitely going with Revan and Bast. That's
That's not what
HK.
Warrior's doing.
I know, but I don't agree. And I'm undefeated in territory and Grand Arena.
So far.
Shots fired.
It must be nice with all your characters at level 1, T-Money.
I know, right?
All right, so really quick, because I'm seeing this in the chat, I've been kind of cautioning people all like the last few days about it. If you guys saw it, Bulldog put out a video about Night Sister Zombie being the lead and being a Darth Revan team. Please do not use this as a known counter to Darth Revan. Okay, make sure you guys understand what the mechanic is behind those videos and stuff. It's a fun video to watch, and it did win. The mechanic behind it is the fact that it's exploiting the fact that Revan will attack with Deathmark whoever's in the leader position. So you put someone like Night Sister Zombie who can't die when there's other Night Sisters, and that team will survive, right? So that's why Night Sister Zombie's in the lead, is to exploit that purpose. The reason why it worked on that video was probably because Bulldog tried it and did it a few times and got the RNG for it. Watch the video and watch how Daka does not die. If your Daka dies, you are screwed.
Super
People
lucky.
have tried, and these matches end
Don't
in
yell at us, Finn.
please don't try it. I've seen people like, oh, the meta says that there's 8 people running Night Sister Zombie lead now, and I saw this video. It's like, no, they're just playing around in order to see it. Night Sister Zombie lead will not work for you unless you get super RNG, which means that Daka is not attacked at all. If Daka dies, you are screwed.
Yeah, I feel super beat up right now.
And you know the mods were all on that Night Sister team.
Gotta go. Talk to you guys later.
All right, bye,
okay,
Warrior.
okay, Warrior.
Take it easy, Warrior.
Have a good day at work, buddy.
If you guys do yourself Night Sister Zombie lead, please post it in the RSG Discord and tag Finity.
It's only going to take you 5 refreshes, but you'll be fine.
Yeah, do that in Grand Arena and tell me how you got to freaking turn me to load the entire team. Okay.
T-Money's going to lose her first Grand Arena this time.
I know, because I was cheeky. I didn't tell anyone no the first time. I could lose.
I wish. What's your GP? Come to my Grand Arena, T-Money.
No, thank you. And don't come find me, any of you. That's complete BS. Or so do people try and like match your GP and stuff?
Oh yeah, I've gotten 3 of those so far.
Yeah, I have a hitman lined up for anyone who wants to try and do that for me.
Yeah,
find out your GP.
Roby Closet said that Bulldog said it took him 4 tries and RNG and luck. Yes, it does. But people don't watch the whole videos. They look at the thumbnail and see Night Sister Zombie lead beats Malik and Revan, and that's all they go with.
So you're saying
so
it's
smart though. It's such a cool video. Like
It
it's
is.
so
I
smart
love
to
the video. It was fun as hell to watch.
Clickbait.
Yep.
It's not wrong, but it's just so much RNG.
Pretty sure Bulldog just unsubscribed from RSG.
I like Bulldog's videos.
He can unsubscribe from my my YouTube my channel.
I liked his video, and he said it was RNG related. It's just that people watch these videos and think that they can replicate it and don't think about how it worked.
You think you can do this, Nemo, but you can't.
I'm going to set up my Night Sister team as when they're like planning out, Urza, don't do this on Grand Arena. There's going to be people that are suggesting it. I'm telling you right now. Like, what should I use against Darth Revan? Use Night Sister Zombie Lead. Don't do it.
Oh, God. All right.
All right, so let's go through some fun questions really quick. Let's see. Danilo Papayas, does Anakin do double damage against Tuskens?
Only the women and the children.
The answer is actually yes, because he does gain the 100% damage gain, which is unique. So he does. Actually. So yes. Haha.
I hate them!
Grim, question for the yodeling pickle. Do you think we will get a third Kylo Ren in the game with Episode 9?
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope so. Yes. Kyber Crystal Mask Kylo Ren.
There you go.
What else 73? When is Ranger Kermit album coming out and where can I buy it?
Well, you'll just have to stay tuned. I just don't want to give everything away. There's some recordings, signings, things that have to be done, so we'll see.
Speedo Kills. For Finity, how do you feel about Java drinking Jawas, jittery with Jedi drama, dribble Java on their pajamas when juggling jives on Jabba's jittering jabber mama? What?
What?
Well done, Infinity. Well done.
So it's
I would have butchered that.
skips that bothers me, and it's not because I can't say it, but it's because if I mess up, I say something bad. Just be clear. Bad things get said if you mess that up. Java, Jawa, jittery, Jedi, drama, dribble, Jawa, pajama. Oh, these are okay. So I'm okay with those words, and if I mess up, so I don't think about it.
Well done, sir.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then last question, without giving any spoilers, just your reaction. Around the corn, what did you guys think of the episode 9 teaser trailer? Don't say anything about it, because I know some people don't want to know anything about it. But what did you guys just think of the trailer?
Hype, awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah, I agree.
It's so good.
Yeah, I'm super excited, and the ending part, that
The ending part where you talking about where Mace Windu comes back.
I don't watch any trailers of basically of Star Wars, Harry Potter, and Lord of the Rings.
I watch all of the trailers.
Total.
I want to know everything. I don't want to be surprised in the movie theater.
What?
No, I watch all the trailers. I read the articles. I read the spoilers. I read it all.
Not me.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I sometimes do and sometimes don't. It depends. But for this, I probably won't, because episode 9 really the teaser. Like, I won't go into those kind of spoilers. I'm okay with just kind of the normal stuff like that.
I want to know every single detail about the movie before I watch it. I want to be spoiled completely.
If what you got out of that was Mace Windu coming back, you need to watch it again, Ramon.
So let me. So this is kind of a joke, but don't tell me that you guys haven't watched a movie for the second time and realize that you missed something because you were so enthralled with it the first time.
Yeah, but the first time I like going in empty.
But I'll miss things, and I'll be like, wow, I missed this great part of the movie because I was so intensely watching something.
I like reading some of the leaks because it's interesting to me to see how spot on they were when the movie actually comes out. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I'll watch the movie and be like, oh wow, that one leak I read, like, it was pretty close to what actually happened, you know, and there'll always be like one or two that are pretty spot on, you know, because somebody who legitimately knows something said something, you know. But the trailer looked cool. I think it really hyped me up for a movie that I literally had zero expectations for at this point. You know, coming out of The Last Jedi, I was so disappointed that I was like, I mean, what am I looking forward to? Another, you know, Rey versus Kylo Ren movie, you know? And now, I mean, I feel like there's at least something to look forward to.
Yes, I was yodeling. I played the yodeling pickle because
that was the yodeling pickle for Grim that you guys heard in the background. Yes, also, I have to say the movie that I watched the most, and I got something new pretty much every single time I watched it, was Snatch, because I felt like I was interpreting the Pikeys different every single friggin' time I watched the movie.
Okay, there you go. So there's that. All right.
That was a fun movie.
All right,
that's it for fun questions.
All right, so now we're gonna pimp everything. For the two that had to go, we're gonna pimp their stuff first. So if you haven't checked out Warrior's channel, please do. Great content. He also has a second channel for the Scissorman Warrior, where it's a new account where he's going through the pillar system that he created. So please go check that out. And then if you love you some Jedi, please check out Jedi Master Dastra. She has more Jedi than you can handle. So again, go to her channel and check out her stuff. Same with Warrior. Subscribe, give a thumbs up, all that good stuff. And now we're going to go down and let everybody else here pimp their stuff. And we're going to start with Ramon.
Well, I'm going to pimp the Reality Skewed Gamers channel. Okay. And you guys should definitely come here on Wednesday nights for the most awesome stream in the galaxy.
Thank you.
And I'm also going to pimp out Urzatron's channel. And I'm going to say that you should definitely check out I don't know. I mean, T-Money says she's the master of the Grand Arena here, but I mean...
not the entertainment master of the Grand Arena. Urza holds that spot.
But if you want to drink a Carillion...
This is my story.
Drink a Carillion and maybe get some hot Twi'lek action going on, you should definitely go check out Urzatron's channel and stop by during one of his Grand Arena streams. They're really something to behold for sure.
All right, that's enough out of you, young man. Now pimp your channel with stuff you do.
All right. I have my own channel. Ramona's out.
There's another YouTuber here. You didn't pimp Ramona. One that you do a stream with.
Well, I mean, obviously, every Tuesday night, if you have the free time, you should go check out this little channel called Operation Metaverse. Now, I mean, there's a link in the description of every video that I post for their live stream, and just same for you guys. And the thing is that the Operation Metaverse show is fantastic as well. Good old Maurice is the heart and soul of my live stream every week. And him and Team Money put together a really high quality show every Tuesday night. You should check that out as well.
All right, and then you do your stream when?
Tomorrow night, we will be streaming about the same exact topics, and we will basically have Jedi Academy 2 with just me and Maurice and Avinash tomorrow night. Unless T-Money's cool enough to hang out with us this time.
That's about her bedtime. It's my bedtime too, and I always get.
Ranger's been on a lot recently, which is pretty cool. So I mean, I always appreciate having him on anytime possible. Anybody who I know is welcome to come on the stream. I'd love to have as many opinions as possible, and everybody's cool with share. But I mean, we're streaming tomorrow night, so definitely come check out the Alliance live show on my channel, and thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, T Money, pimp Operation Metaverse. You and good old Maurice can pimp it together if you want.
Well, I want to start out by giving a shout out to. No, I'm just kidding. First, I'll say thank you for having me on. I always blank out at the end and forget to say that. So thanks for having me on. And we run a live stream every Tuesday night at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time called The Galaxy's Edge, and it's kind of a hybrid live stream / show. We kind of have not a script, but we follow through on different subjects. We have things like gossip of the week, all of the leaks and up and coming what ifs that happen in the galaxy, as well as we have faction experts on as much as possible to talk about the new releases and the characters, and to go over old factions as well. What else do we do? Go, Maurice, what do we do?
We do videos on occasion.
We do. We've been doing less of those lately. We do workshops. We have we have a workshop coming up called 15 characters that don't need speed. And I haven't told Little Maurice this yet, but I also might do like a special workshop. Our workshops are just for patrons. It's like a smaller environment, and you can ask lots of questions and stuff like that. And we sometimes look at people's rosters and kind of pick apart and teach people how to mod and so on and so forth that way. But I might do like an open workshop for guild leaders around territory wars soon. So I'm considering doing that. So if you're interested in that, you can PM me just so I can assess interest. That'll be just like you just have to be a guild leader or a territory wars leader to come in and check that one out.
All right. And then Urza, tell us about the hall and the lovely ladies of Star Wars that you are in charge of and what you do.
Well, thank you for having me on. Normally I can't make this time, but the wife is she's at swim lessons right now. So thank you for having me on. No, I stream Grand Arena Offense usually at 7:30 p.m. The night Offense kind of unfolds. So whatever night that may be, do check it out. If you like Star Wars and want to be totally submersed in an in-universe Star Wars environment where we drink Carillion Lights, we got Twi'leks, we got Togruta, whatever you want. I run a holotable hall deep within the Outer Rim, and it is a party like you've ever seen before. We got a whole slew of regulars that come in and really have fun and really embrace the climate there in the hall. So do come by, check it out. It's a fun time.
Absolutely, and I know a lot of the skewers here follow the hall. I remember, Urza, when you first started, we played your video. I'm so happy you've grown up so much.
Thank you, guys. So big. I started watching you guys, so.
I know, and you're very kind. But yeah, check out the hall. And then, Finn, if you'd like to pimp our stuff.
Well, I want King Felix to pimp.
Oh. Oh, wait, I hear his daughter. This could go bad. All right. Okay. Okay, that's our pimp for RSG.
I just heard Ruggy. That is the greatest pimp ever.
Oh, please.
Okay, she's telling us to shut up again, I think.
Okay. Right.
Hey, start singing. See what happens when you sing.
Baby
right.
shark. Oh God. Oh Lord. All right, if you could pimp the channel correctly, sure. King Felix.
You're watching the Reality Skewed Gamer channel. Thank you all for watching, guys. This is Jedi Academy. This is a 2-hour stream that we do on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. where we talk about what's going on in the galaxy at the beginning of the show, and then we answer your questions for. Usually it's more than what we did today, but there's kind of some big stuff going on right now in the community. So we try to do as much of the 2 hours as question and answer as possible, but we did get through, I think, all of the questions until Nightbot stopped gathering questions. So successful day. Also, make sure that you check out our Wednesday night stream at 8 p.m. where we go through the news and notes from the past week and give you guys all of our opinions and thoughts on what's going on in the community. We have some other non-Star Wars stuff that we also do as well. We have Dungeons and Dragons that we do at 5 p.m. on Sundays. We also have had more videos coming out for other stuff. We had a Tactical Monsters video come out on Thursday. We had our I think it's our first real video for Magic the Gathering. It was a box opening for Ravnica Allegiance, which is the newest set in there. So if you guys like Magic the Gathering and want to see how the new set plays out, check out that video that was posted yesterday. We have a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video that's going to be posted today at 3 p.m. We're trying to get you guys a new 3 p.m. video pretty much every day. That's our goal here. So we've been good this week. We have some stuff planned for the next few days, and we're constantly working on trying to get that out for you guys. So please make sure that you check that out. And if you're interested in roster reviews, we do a roster review on every lunch hour stream that we do at 12 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Fridays on working days. So if it's a holiday, you may not see us, but Monday through Friday, we do a roster review, and then we answer some questions and just play Galaxy of Heroes. So make sure that you guys, if you guys are interested in a roster review, hit me up, Finity, on the RSG Discord. Links and everything to our channel, as well as every YouTuber except for Urza, who I need to add on to here since he's on here today. All the links will be in the description of the YouTube video and in the Twitch page for you guys as well. So make sure that you guys check that out. And yeah,
I think that wraps it up. So guys, stay frosty, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and be safe. So on behalf of myself and the illustrious Jedi Academy, thank you guys for stopping in today. We very much appreciate it. So have a great day. Well, I'll let you later. Peace.